And we're live. Hello, YouTube. Thanks for tuning in to the 2025 Hoenn Draft Invitational Draft Tier List, brought to you by me, Zetz. I'm joined by a number of draft aficionados and nephew. We got some gamers. We got River, we got Forte, Martini, Wraxius Gaming, and nephew himself. And some of us know ball when it comes to drafts. I don't know much, but the 2025 Hoenn Draft Invitational is upon us. How are we all feeling, gang?
All right.
It's so bad.
We're hanging in there.
It's really cold.
All right, we got a mixed bag. Some of us are hanging in there. It's cold. I was just in Hawaii last week. It was like in the mid-70s. Completely unbelievable, honestly.
My cousin was there too, like just last week. That's crazy.
Oh my
I ran
gosh.
into him.
Dude, maybe we like met up and like became best friends.
Well, he's kind of a douchebag, so I'd feel bad for you, but that's okay. Anyway, yeah,
Sweet, cool.
yeah.
Nice. So let's talk a little bit about this event, because I followed a little bit of Hoenn Draft Invitational circuits earlier last year. This is the culmination of 2025 drafts, and this was the idea was this was going to finish last year. It's actually happening now. Emerald Open 5 was a huge event, and that was one of 4 different tournaments. You get like different points and stuff. You qualify, you prove that you're like a god gamer, and River and Forte, are you in this, or is River the only person?
Yeah. No, I'm in it.
River and Forte. Martini, did you make it?
I'm in losers already, but I'm still here.
No, I'm not good at this game.
Yeah.
I just draft for the fun.
Okay. We got some for fun gamers. We have some god gamers. We want a little bit
It's
of variety.
something worth talking about, I think.
Martini is
Before-
my number one op for sure in terms of just opinions and everything. So it's gonna make for some interesting thoughts.
There's something worth talking about with regards to this event. And
Please.
the draft board it's an aggregate of all the other draft boards. So it takes the draft prices of every Pokemon and averages them. So what it means is that despite the last tournament having only ended like a couple of weeks before this started, some of the Pokemon look wildly different. So I don't know, for some people who like missed out on the last tournament or didn't pay a lot of attention, then they're gonna have to acclimatize.
Okay, so
Yeah.
this is the draft board that was used in the recent draft for this invitational, right?
Yep.
Are there any big changes here that people might be surprised? Like, oh wow, like look at how high this is. Look at how much this Pokemon dropped. What surprised you?
It's really interesting because, like, you look at some tournaments, like V3 had, I think it was V3 that was super cheap, or maybe that was Emerald Open. There was one tournament toward the beginning of the year that I remember everything was priced incredibly low, and then you look at
Emerald,
ZTL3, which was the exact opposite end, where you saw shit that was just really expensive for. There was some that I think was a little bit biased, but I think that Martini and Zing did a pretty good job at just it definitely mixed things up a bit in terms of like what you could get. Like having Snorlax at 19, I think is a good precedent just because of how strong that mon is to start. But I mean, the fact that it's back at 18 here, I'm a little just personally disappointed in, but I mean, that's something that I think everybody knew going into this that it was just not going to happen. At least not
I
yet.
agree with you.
We
It's
were- we
worth
were a little
mentioning
too,
that-
early on it, or yeah, we were a little like early on adapting
Mhm.
to Max 19, and where no other tournaments were. It was always like this is something that has been kind of discussed to death in like multiple different places.
Yeah.
So it was like too how do I want to say this? It was too close to the like big tournament for it to really be a change that would be
Yeah.
adapted here. So
Null is in
Yeah, I will
the,
say,
the YouTube chat claiming that he himself got Marowak bumped up 2 points, and I somehow
Yes.
don't doubt that.
No, he totally did. I remember, I think it was Emerald Open. You saw Whack and Rhydon at, I think they were both 8 points, and
Right on 7,
I-
worse.
oh, was it set? That's even worse. Yeah, no, that's crazy. Rhydon is slept on there, but regardless, I think that they were viewed pretty interchangeably going into it. I remember talking with Nal about that, and it was something that I remember having discussions about Whack versus Rhydon, and especially paired with Zapdos in the Speed Pass role. It's something that makes them even scarier. Whack obviously has that much more immediate, I think, firepower, and its typing is just better at switching into things with an agility, and so it works better for Marowak, and it's just a scary mon, especially in a format where you're very often cheating on a lot of resistances and stuff like that, and like, you know, you can get away with having halfway physical resists or really just physical checks, but Whack just kind of says, you know, screw that, and just plows through it anyway. So it's tough.
Intriguing. Well, we had the drafts. Not many gamers know this, but I supported Null in his quest to win in his draft, and so, you know, just make sure that you remember that when he wins the entire tournament, that I should get like 5% of the credit. Everybody, please like put that in the newspaper. And
I swear that was coming out.
Yeah,
10% of the prize pool, right?
Yeah. I'm definitely getting a slice. I'm getting a slice. But we have, the way that this works is every single one of the 16 gamers that was invited drafted 2 separate drafts, and then for each round it's best of 1. It's double elim for the bracket, but you kind of like, you're up against both of your opponents' 2 drafts, and you both pick one of your drafts at the same time, like blind. You say, okay, I'm going with 2, my second draft. Your opponent says, okay, I'm going to go with 1. Neither of you knew which one before you commit, and then once you know which draft each of you committed to, you like actually build your team, and you show up, and that's basically the format, right?
Yep. The reasoning behind it is so that you can avoid a lot of like matchup disparity and just going like, well, I have Snorlax, you have Zapdos, my Snorlax beats it. You can evade it a little bit by drafting 2 different drafts, so you're never gonna have a really bad matchup.
In theory, at least. I mean, I think looking at some of the spreads, it's a little hard to avoid a bad matchup. If one of your teams is weak, you just have to really hope that, you know, your better team is not weak to the one thing that your opponent has. I mean, and there are some pairings that I think are fairly weak toward the, I think there are a few in the middle of the pack, at least, seating wise, that I think had some weak pairings, but it's something that I think for the most part has been avoided to a disastrous level, I guess, for lack of a better word. But nothing's, I don't think, perfect. I don't think there's a perfect pairing here. There are some that get really close, but I think that there's flaws in pretty much everything, which is exciting, because I think that if you have perfect drafts, then it's just boring.
One thing I'd like to say about one thing I'd like to say about the 2 drafts is that it also removes rematch disparity, where originally the plan was that people would use an old draft from a previous circuit.
Yes.
But then stuff like now's EO5 draft is arguably the best draft of all time. And it's like, and then you have someone like
it's insane.
extremely strong. And then I believe Volta had like very middling drafts where like they were good enough to get wins, but like they were not like showstoppers.
Okay, well now I wanna see Null's Emerald
Holy
Open
shit.
Volta has very
I can pull it up.
recognizable drafts. I will say that one of his drafts here ended up looking like I could tell that it was Volta on pick like 3, just because it just looked like him. But yeah, now's draft was absurd.
Does anybody know what pool he was in? I know this is obviously forever ago.
I can send you like a screenshot from the Scraph database if you'd like.
Oh, right.
Oh, I forgot that H-Clad actually entered that. Nice.
Oh my god, H-Clad got boned. It was so sad.
I
God.
know he like is always in a constant state of LARPing, but he has claimed that he's the draft GOAT, and I don't know if that's
he
like
choked as fuck.
He's the reason. Okay, so he does choke. It's terrible, but he is also the reason why anybody respects Jumpluff as a Pokemon, which I kind of think is pretty heat. So,
he's really good, but it's just so funny. Like, because he was going into it like one of the favorites to win the entire tournament, and he kind of lost to some guy, and then the guy who beat him ended up being like kind of good. So that was cool. But...
Okay, so the guy who beat him, I remember this. Okay, so it's my number 1 op Noble. I hate that guy.
Fickle.
Okay. So I had no. Okay, so the one thing about draft is I feel like there's so much more like just like low key beef than you see in just like singles. which is interesting. Not
Okay.
like real beef, right? Like I don't really care, but it's one of those things that like I've held a small grudge against Noble the entire circuit because of
Oh,
how
there it is. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Scarm,
This is an
Zap,
extremely
Bliss,
strong draft.
Vape, Regirock, Marowak. Yeah, this looks kind of busted.
Yeah. And
Storm
then,
Zap is unreal, and add
Storm
Blissey and
Zap
Reg
is
and Vape to
like-
that, it's like
Yeah, that's
like
beautiful.
they would have been horrid rematch disparity if like Nal gets to bring this and someone else gets like, oh no, like Mel Ninja's draft. It's
how did he go 3-1 in pools? What the hell? That's insane.
Yo, do you guys
Probably
remember
Who did he
my
lose
draft? Does anybody remember my draft? Like low key, it was kind of insane.
I do not.
It was
I
literally
remember
just.
that it was like pretty good.
It was like
I remember you had a Charizard, and you clicked Belly Drum, and it died and did nothing, because Belly Drum Zard's bad.
I got my clip. I definitely got my clip. Look at
Yeah,
this.
but like,
Steven
Oh
Miller
wait,
Forte
wait,
draft?
no. It also beat Funk. It's 6-0.
Yeah,
right.
I fucking
Oh,
caused
yeah,
Funk
I
to
forgot about
crash
that.
out.
I forgot about
Yeah.
that.
This is kind of
Yeah,
fucking
like-
crazy, is it not? Is this not sick as fuck?
That is a nasty draft. See, the problem is that you got Charizard, which is embarrassing.
That's a
Like,
problem?
Like,
It's a problem for my
So
op,
Zard is-
baby.
We don't like
okay.
Charizard.
Zard is
He's cool.
notoriously like. So the problem with Charizard is that it's really expensive, and it's not that anybody thinks that it's a bad Pokemon necessarily. It's just a waste of points because you can get either Moltres if you really value the flying typing
Yeah.
for cheaper, or you can get Typhlosion, which is offensively almost the exact same. You're just Spike Weak now.
Right.
Like
right.
it doesn't do a ton, and it's something that I think more and more people have come around on lowering Zard to like 14, maybe even 13 points. Some people are being hyperbolic and saying 11. I think that
11
is
is
maybe not the
crazy.
way we're going, but I mean, it definitely I think is not a very strong pick, just relative to efficiency in your point totals and all that. So.
I'm glad that we took this little detour, but we have 32 teams to get through because there's 16
Yes.
gamers. Everybody has 2 different teams, and so I invite us to kind of get started here. 15 minutes into the stream, and we're gonna go chronologically here. There's 4 separate pools. 8 teams are drafted per pool. We're gonna start with the first one, the Emerald pool. And what do you know? Is this the number 1 overall seeded gamer, the GOAT, River?
Yeah, River
That's
got like
facts.
most points in the entire circuit. If you go to the circuit points page, you can just see.
Circuit
So
points
many.
/ seeding. River with 47.5, kind of separating herself from the pack here. It's pretty impressive stuff.
She didn't even get any like. I think you get 4 circuit points for winning a tour, and she like did not even. Yeah, she.
No,
did
she
not
It was just
just
consistent.
Still got more.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. You get a lot of seeding bonuses if you like win the whole tournament. I didn't win a tournament. So
Yeah, not until this one.
What was your best? What was
I
your
didn't
best
get any
placement?
money.
I don't remember.
I
It
got-
was
I got
5 every time, right?
I got 5th in Emerald Open, and I don't know. I got like 5th in everything. It was ass.
It was really
No money.
good. Yeah, that's the important
It
part,
was
yeah.
ass. It was really good. 5th out of 360 is kind of crazy.
I didn't get
It's
money.
like
It
it's
was
like your
fucked up.
first year touching the format. Like Emerald Open is pretty much your first tournament.
That's
right?
true. That was my first tournament.
Oh,
yeah,
this is
I don't
sick.
know.
The
I had a
04
good
where you
time,
gave
though.
act wins. That doesn't count.
This doc is
I was
so
just- I was
crazy. This doc is really sick.
It's
Shout
really
out to
cool.
Scrap.
Scrap.
Scrap is the
Shout out.
goat.
Shout
Scrap
out
kinda is the
Scrap.
goat.
Um,
I'm a fan
There are
of
so many
all
I
this.
tournaments
was-
that just would not have happened without Scraff.
Absolutely not.
My own.
I don't know.
Dude, this
I'd like to mention the prize pool for these tournaments. Some of them, it's been like $1,000 for like Emerald Open, and that's what made me really want to play. I was like, I'm gonna come and play for that, and then I didn't get
But it's steal
anything.
gold
But
bases money.
I came for Gold Basin's money, but I stayed because I actually really enjoy the format.
it's
Shout
it's a
outs,
sick
ADV
format.
draft, and all the
I
tournaments
mean,
that are
like,
going to
all
be
the
run
money
next
is
year.
valid.
Yeah. Absolutely.
The entire like ADV community, from like OU to draft to whatever other sub communities exist. There's
The
just
lower tiers.
yeah, the lower tiers, which are tiers that exist. There are communities. There's UUBL gamers. There's just so many like people that view this as a passion project that put in so much work for the love of the game, and we're all very fortunate to have people like that, like your Gold Masons, like your Scraffs. Thank you all. Okay, so before we dive into this, like philosophically, To what degree are you going to be looking at what is being drafted around these gamers in the same pool when you or is it in a vacuum like, okay, River took this with this with this, that's just good. Like you can't necessarily be like, oh well, she should have done this. It's like, oh well, she couldn't have because.
Are you talking about like during the draft like itself, or are you saying like now in retrospect?
I guess I'm saying like, okay, so
Like, how do you pick your next guy, considering what other people might take?
yeah, I'm saying, are you like when we are ranking River's Emerald Pool draft? This like, are you looking anywhere else on the screen at all, or are we looking at this in a vacuum and it's like, how good did this draft end up being, regardless of the factors around it? What else other people were taking, you know?
You're kind of looking at it in a vacuum because there's 3 other pools. So while you could look at it and be like, oh, well, you know, it has these issues, but it matches up well into the other drafts, there's just 31 other drafts. So it's
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it's not really fair to
like-
look at the stuff around it.
I think so.
I think it's
quality of play here is so high to where you're not gonna get something like Emerald Open pools or like I guess
Right.
it's
Right.
not just Emerald Open, but that's the biggest one. You're gonna get some people drafting some, you know,
Some like
crazy
insane
for
stuff that
synthetic.
Yeah.
empowers other people to get stuff that you just shouldn't be able to pair together.
You're gonna
I-
see a lot
yeah.
of like tar zaps in like Emerald Open where you wouldn't see it in like the Invitational because people are good enough to not let that slide.
I think it's fair though to look at, I guess, what was available at the time during a draft when you're like looking at the overall, I guess, quality of the draft itself, because like there are some things that I think could have been way better on a lot of these drafts when you look at what would have been available at a given turn, and there are some things that I think were kind of absurd for how early they were. Some things I think make sense in the context of the actual drafting process a bit more, but yeah, as a whole, I think everything's pretty. I think it's all over the place. So.
I think you're right. You can usually identify places where a draft goes a little bit wrong, where you go like, "Ooh, I don't like this pick with the top core," and then it's worth looking around and being like, "What else would have been on the board? Was there another like reasonable, obvious option, or was it just like rock in a hard place? Everything kind of sucks."
That's fair. Well, Zinc also wanted to be a part of this. Zinc was not able to make the stream, but she was nice enough to write a lot of thoughts, and so I'm gonna gather those and share some of her thoughts throughout the discussion. But I guess River, you're the #1 overall gamer in this entire invitational. You drafted this, so why don't you start us off with talking about kind of your ideas while drafting this team? You played 2 matches so far in the tournament, so I can't remember if you've used this team or not, but oh wait, no, yeah, I remember the Slow King like going absolutely in.
Yeah, I
think.
just did. Yeah.
Yeah, that was that last night or 2 nights ago? Talk to me about how your assessment of how this went for you.
Okay, I won't waste too much time, so I'm going to try and get through it relatively quickly without waffling. But so, it's a seeded draft, so you got to pick your position or position preference. You go like, I would like first pick, and if I don't get first pick, I would like fourth pick. So when you're a little bit lower seed, it's you're picking in order. It's like, I would most prefer these things to try and not get saddled with a position that you don't want. Like, say, if you really don't like what gets left at the end of the board, then you go, I really don't want 8, and I put 8th pick last. Because I was the top seed, I just got to pick where I wanted to be. So I picked first because I wanted Snorlax. Like Forte mentioned earlier, Snorlax was 19 on some of the tournaments in the circuit this year, but in this tournament, it's 18, and I would love an 18-point Snorlax. So in this draft, I picked first pick because I wanted Snorlax, and then the really early Alakazam looks a little bit weird, but the traditional partners would be stuff like a Gyarados or a Claydol. I just kind of hate them all. I think they all look slow and ugly, so I told Scraff, give me Alakazam, I want a fast Pokemon, and then I'll figure it out. And then the rest of the guys are just kind of like good offense Pokemon that fill roles. Flygon's a nice ground resist. Blaziken's like a good muscular fire type. They're just like good guys that do things. The other thing I'd like to highlight is the Victory Bell, because Snorlax has an inherent issue with fighting types. They're the main thing that can really shut it down and threaten it.
Right.
So a lot of times people will spend heavy on something like a Weezing, where it's really expensive and it just doesn't do all that much. But Victory Bell is faster than a lot of the fighting types like your Hariyama and your Machamp, and it has access to Encore for bulk up fighting types. So I thought that I'd be able to save some points, get more expensive offense guys like your Blaziken, and then I'd get the Victory Bell at the end.
Oh, so
yeah,
you
that's-
knew, like, you had the Victory Bell in your back pocket. Nice.
Yeah, I was telling Martini around like pick number 2, I was like, I'm getting Victory Bell.
Yep,
And-
that
and you
is-
did.
I can confirm in the draft chat. She pinged me, was like, "We're getting Victory Bell later in this draft." Okay.
We're getting Chud Plant.
That's hype. And of course, you got
That's
your Meteor Mash user with your buzzer beater pick here in Clefable.
That's true.
True. Meteor
Yes.
Mash?
Yeah,
Yeah, it's one of
Meteor
like
Mash.
2. It's crazy. I
it's
don't know why.
Metagross and Clefable that can learn Meteor Mash in
Because
in
Clefable's
ADV.
from Mount Moon. It's from like the moon.
I have a silly calc with that somewhere. It's kind of nuts, but no, this draft I'm very conflicted about. I see the vision in it, but also like I think this is so close to being a Tyros draft, and that's not a good thing. It is
Whoa.
grounded as fuck, so slow outside of Zam, and then you have no spinner, and that just makes me very nervous that you're gonna like the only thing you have into Skarm, for example, like directly into Skarm is Blaziken, and I don't think that that's outstanding. Personally,
That's true. My Skarmory matchup is I don't bring this team.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's not
That's fair.
Just don't load into now. You'll be fine.
yes,
Yep.
True.
I will also say that I think this is the best Lax draft, in complete contrast to Forte's statement. I think that this is a very competently
it's fair.
offensive draft. I think that everything breaks for each other really well. I think the Blaziken is extremely smart. I really like how Blaziken breaks for everything. It patches up holes. It just defensively threatens everything that offensively threatens the Lax draft. And I think the Victory Bell is a great late game pick. I think that's a fantastic Pokemon. Lots of status spread, lots of fighting resist, electric resist, supports Snorlax really well. I like it.
I think
Yeah,
you
the
guys
Victory
hit
Bell
the
was a
most
great call.
important part, that this draft could still be viable in tours with 19-point lax. That's the biggest part.
True.
1 point
Yeah.
left over.
True.
Oh yeah, the 1 point
One
remaining. is
budget
nice.
remaining. One budget remaining.
Yeah,
Zing-
the only change I think I would ever make here is slacking over Clefable.
Yeah, Zink was saying it remains to be seen if Clefable was a good idea, and I am curious to see if Clefable will get any playing time on this team.
Oh,
But Zink gave this an 8 out of 10 overall, and so I ask us in general, what are we vibing? Is this, and we can move this around later if we can always make adjustments. But are we feeling like A tier? Is it S tier? Like, because it feels
There's
like we have a
something
lot of
worth
respect for
considering.
this.
I think A is like a good starting point.
I think A is
Considering
fair.
that this is just like
I feel like starting
doesn't
off
have
immediately
a
with
rapid
S is just not the play.
Because this doesn't have Rapid Spin, and because it has Snorlax and a couple of Pokemon weakened to Skarmory, it was fully made with the intent that if I see Skarmory, I simply don't bring this.
Right.
So if you want to weigh this on like the half of the time that it does come, it gets a good matchup, then you can put it higher. But then if you want to go like, if I had to use it the whole tour, would it be good? And you can put it in like A or B.
I just think the fact that it's quite borderline unviable into Skarmory at all. So like
Holds it back a bit.
it matches up really well into the other team that the opponent has. Like say they have Skarmory on one team and then the other team that they have is, really good for this one. Then you just are forced to play a 50-50 before you even start building, right? And I don't
Right.
think that that's spectacular.
Yeah, you're right.
Interesting.
Yeah, I think a high A is best for this draft.
Yeah, I think that's
And
fair.
then if we have nothing else that's like stronger and this feels like dominant enough over everything else, then we can move it to S. But for now, I think high A is good.
I don't know the bracket well enough to assess what Null means by this, but Null in the chat saying, respectfully, River won't face a Skarm draft until finals.
Just,
That's
have
Just because
Skarm
they're not
draft,
suited to play until
announced.
late.
Yeah, the Skarm drafts are just taken by people who I'm not gonna like with the draw. I won't play them until the end of the tour.
Well, that's hype, and those are going to be some of the matchups to look out for, I think. We'll throw it in A for now, and maybe we'll find ourselves being very underwhelmed by a lot, and we'll have to, maybe there will be draftflation or something, but A feels right for now. And
Spoiler: there are some stinkers in here.
Yo.
Spoiler alert.
Exciting. Let's jump over to Spreek, another top tier gamer, threat on the ladder, participant in the Zets Cord. A lot of accolades that Spreek has under his belt. Again, I'm not really a draft ball knower, but I'm looking at these top 3, top 4. I kind of like what I'm seeing. Anybody have any strong opinions?
I think this is an S tier draft. I drafted something incredibly similar to this. So I thought that if you actually go into, I think it's
It's S tier because it looks like mine. Go.
well, okay, so I can speak to it. All right, so if you actually go back to, I think it was, let me look in my own document. It was Ash 1. Okay, so I thought for sure that the Aonfa's Lax draft was the same drafter as Emerald 2 because
Oh, you thought this was Spreek, or you thought this is the same person?
I just thought it was the same person.
Well, yeah.
Do you want to explain how the blind draft works?
Yeah, okay, yeah. So you
true.
couldn't see who that was, and I did not have any idea at that point. And it was feasible that could have been, I think, Aonfa in general. But I didn't think that it was Spreek. It's a Spreek build for sure, but the fact that it's the exact same starting 4 and in Emerald 2 and ending 4 in Ash 1 as my V3 pools team, and it's the exact same team, and it was a very good team. I remember I gushed about that one. If we had the old format where a rematch would have had you bring a team from at some point in the circuit, I would have brought that one. Smeargle is a really good substitute for Cloyster in this sense. I think it serves the offensive kind of role as a spike setter that you want. For those starting 4, I think that they just vibe together super well, and I think that's a draft that can be taken into pretty much anything, even with the changes. I think that Gligar was a mistake, especially when you have Scyther. I think that they fill a lot of the same roles. I just think that Scyther is kind of better. I think there was probably more that you could have done with those 2 picks in particular. I think Hypno's great, but the other 2 I'm not sure. But other than that, I think this is a really offensively scary team.
Smeargle is the rapid spinner, and that's cool.
That is cool.
That is cool.
We love that.
One of my issues with this draft. Well, okay, I guess I'll talk about the good stuff. First of all, Zap Vap is like a very well-known good combo in draft. You often see these 2 getting paired together in like every tournament. Hariyama's another one, but obviously we don't see that here. My issue is like the speed are. We have like Zapdos and Scyther as our speed at like, that's what, 100 and what? Scyther's what, 105? I never use this.
105.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so you don't really hit like that 110. My personal rule of thumb is you should probably have a Mon over like at or over 110 speed, just in general. Helps with dealing with base 100s and stuff like that. I think it's kind of fine because you have like, no, I don't know. I just don't jive with it.
How it pans out in game is it means that you have to be a little bit more on your toes versus your Choice Tauros and your Alakazam and that kind of speed tier threats, because you just don't have an option to outspeed them. Which is fine, however, it's also a really offensive team. It's a little bit more on the frailer side with the Medicham and the Smeargle, so it's going to be hard to navigate when you're both frail and you don't have the super fast guy.
Yeah, it's either winning in 10 turns or it's eating shit in 10 turns. Like there's no in between.
Yes,
Nala's
I think
pointing
that
out
this
that this
is
is a stat pass draft and that there's an Agile Zap.
Technically, yes. I was going to talk about that in
that's
a
true.
moment. I think that this is a draft that is C tier in anyone besides Spreek's hands here, where Spreek knows the offensive line to get in a Dragon Dance, Miracle, and Agilipath Zap, etc.
True.
That allows him to actually break stuff. I think that in the hands of, say, Sharky King or our lovely Forte, I do not think this would have any mileage because it requires very specific linear lines to be made in the builder.
You could have just picked
Use
anyone.
this exact team. What do you mean in my hands? What are you talking about?
You didn't have a
Forte would go
Smeargle.
do with this.
Yeah, Forte doesn't know how to Dragon Dance pass.
It's very complicated.
God.
To be fair, the
Holy,
lines.
chill on my man.
You have to have a certain IQ to understand.
Yeah.
I guess with like the speed thing, other than like the agile thing, there is hella T-Wave on this team. Like,
Yeah.
True.
Hypno's
That's
like
true.
always running it. Registeel's always running it. Zapdos probably isn't going to run it because like you want its move slots to do other
Smeargle
things.
can run
But
it.
it definitely can.
Ooh, chills.
Smeargle's gonna run the other move that makes it so you don't get to moves. That one's more important.
Glare. Yeah.
Yeah, glare.
Encore.
Memento.
Yeah. Ooh, I love Memento Smeargle. Oh my god, I love that guy.
Oh man, Memento into bulk up Metacham, kind of tough.
I'm just gonna say, Scraf banned block assist Beagle the other day, and it's never gonna see the light of day
Thanks,
anymore.
Graf.
Like mid tournament was like, hey, by the way, don't do this.
So I was theory crafting for my matchup with Gang, and if he brought his other team, I was fully intending on using block Smeargle and minimum speed to underspeed Chansey, and then just keep that in there, and then stall it out of all of its attacks, and then Dragon Dance up, and then fish assist for BP, and then I would have passed +6/+6 to Metagross, and it would have been fire. But
This is one of the like fun things about being a draft TO. Like every so often someone will ask, hey, is this legal? And then like it's something I've never even thought of before, and then it's like, well, time to fix that challenge command, because absolutely not, that's disgusting.
it would have been funny though.
That would have been
Really good.
that would have been kind of legendary.
It would have.
Zinc agreed with an earlier comment made about the Gligar and Scyther kind of like having some overlap and thinking there was maybe some opportunity to do some other things there.
Let's be real, Gligar's never coming.
Think also
Yeah.
Fighting
has
versus
a-
Goat.
Gligar's tough to fit on most builds, I feel. Scyther, I think, is really underbuilt, to be honest with you. I think it's a good mon, but nobody else seems to fuck with it. But
I
I think
I like this.
okay.
I like it more than many other drafts, but I think I like many other drafts over it. I'd say B tier.
I like B
high,
tier.
high B, low A.
I still lean A, but I mean, I couldn't see a world where this is B tier.
I think we'll need to see the other A tier draft to
Yeah,
know
we
if
might
this
need
is
Yeah.
to we might need to move this up later because
And that's completely
we'll see.
fine. We can always move this later. For now, we'll throw it here, and we will move on to Klurd. Klurd with Meta Bliss Gengar Stoys Whack.
Yeah, this team is slow as
Is the
balls.
Swallow pick good?
Is the Swallow pick good? I don't think it's. I
This
think that
is like-
Dodrio here would have worked better. It's just you need the firepower, I think.
Could have spent 9 points on a better Pokemon, but
Well, there's also
only
that.
7 for the Swallow. So
It's been-
he really wanted Swallow.
Zinc seems
I got
underwhelmed
10
and
points.
shared that this has 2 points left over and 7 points spent on Swallow, so I'm just going to count that as 9 points tossed into the void.
Yeah.
Low-key, if you wanted speed control, like I don't know, you could have gotten like I'd rather have an Electrode than a Swallow.
Electabuzz
Yeah.
is there too. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
There are better things.
Swallow's best attacking move on this team is Endeavor.
Endeavor.
That's
Agreed.
usually the best move that it has. Yeah. So
Hey, that
I
guy
think
can
it's
like
worth going.
pass.
It's worth going pick by pick because everyone agrees that this is an issue with speed, right? However, we like Metagross Blissey. Those two are good together because Metagross is checked by your electrics and fires, and Blissey stops them, and,
Right.
and they're good together. And then Gengar's a really good Pokemon to have on the third round at 350 speed. It does lots of good things, so we like Gengar, and we probably all like Blastoise because you want a
Blastoise
good Rapid Spinner
is
with your Blissey and your
super good.
Metagross.
Blastoise is good there.
So we like it up to there. And I would go so far as to say the Marowak's also fine. Because you have this Blissey that's a offensively kind of dead weight
Yeah.
piece versus a lot of fat, wanting your Marowak to be really like strong and bulky is like, sure. I think Armaldo is where it gets wrong. Because you
that's the
already have
problem.
Blastoise for Rapid Spin.
True.
You have Gengar and Metagross who already beat normals. And if you're considering it as like a Swords Dance guy, you already have this Marowak that can break. What is
Yeah.
Armaldo doing?
Yeah.
It's the normal resist. I mean, I think that it was totally picked to be another normal resist, even though you do have Gengar. Like, I don't
Right.
get it because,
Yeah.
yeah, like you said, like, usually when I pick, and Metagross, yeah, but, like, usually when I take Armaldo, I love Armaldo. He's one of my favorite guys in the format. I do think, though, that when I was talking about, like, Rhydon versus Marowak earlier, I think Armaldo fits offensively much closer to Marowak than Rhydon does, just because it doesn't have that ×4 weakness. But, I usually treat the two interchangeably. When I'm helping people with like a Zapdos draft, I tell them to take either Marowak or Armaldo if they want a good speed pass recipient, like a good offensive piece. And I mean, it overlaps way too much. Armaldo doesn't like to spin, but like it also like you have Pineco and Blastoise, like it definitely doesn't need to, but it just doesn't feel quite right.
No, I think that Clur just got paid by like the Italian mafia to take 2 rock types in his drafts. That's all. That's the only explanation for this Armaldo here.
You mean 2 spinners or?
No, he got paid by the Italian mafia to make sure Armaldo is taken in every pool. That's the only explanation.
I see. Yes.
I think maybe instead of getting Armaldo Pineco, you just like bite the bullet and get some Spiker. Hell, like.
I think he could have gotten Omastar. I think Omastar is very good.
Omastar's fine.
Yeah. Metagross gets kind of blanked by Milotic, and Quillfish can spike on Milotic. That would have worked.
Oh, yeah, Quillfish went on
Quillfish is good. Yeah, I think either Quill. I really like Oma personally. I understand if no one else does. I think Quill is like a very good guy. I think Jinx would have been really good.
He gets a bad rap, yeah.
Sure.
But like he's never done me no wrong.
He just doesn't do anybody
anything.
anything. That's the problem is that he's just kind of there.
Null also saying respect to Clur, but this draft ain't it. So
I will say,
yeah.
I think Crobat would have done wonders instead there. Like they could have fit it for sure too. Like, oh my god, yeah, no.
My absolute guy.
Crobat Metagross is a fantastic pairing. I used it earlier this year and I left it a lot. So, but I don't know.
It feels the vibes feel C or D. Is it as bad as D?
C. It's not that bad.
I think C. Yeah.
If we're all saying it's clunky,
it has a good start and it kind of falls
a little bit bad. Like
there's redundancies.
This is not the thing to be, right? Going like, this is clunky is a lot less bad than like this loses to Earthquake. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
It's like it's C at worst.
Okay.
It's a serviceable draft that you can get wins with, and it won't just like instantly lose to like. Something.
Yeah.
It's not like a horrid draft. It's like perfectly acceptable. It's just flawed.
There we go.
Yeah, it's flawed. I expected to go like even in a Pools game. Like it's fine.
All right.
Sure. Yeah.
Pocket, a gamer I've never heard of, but they're the 4 seed. So shouts to Pocket.
No. They picked 4th position. They could.
Okay, so that's not even true.
Right.
I'm spreading misinformation on the internet.
Everyone could have just been like, "Wow, 4th pick is trash."
That's crazy. Yeah, no. Pocket was 12th seed going into this. It looks like so.
So do you guys think of 4 seed as like not that desirable? I guess like what is the meta, because it's a snake draft, right? So 8th pick gets the wraparound. You get 8 and 9. So Among Us got to get Mence and Skarm, and then you don't get to pick again forever. You get what, like
you gotta pick your power picks and hope to God you get.
If we discuss first pick order, we'll be here for ages.
Yeah, that's fair.
It's
Four
this
is
and Big Sticks discussion. Those are the two that'll have us here till.
Yeah. Fourth is not beloved. People do not like 4.
People don't like 4.
It's awkward. Like you can't plan very well, and that's the biggest problem. Like you get screwed over very frequently because you can't really rely on, like, even if you're pick 3, I think you're able to reasonably well predict like what picks 1 and 2 are going to take, or like what they want,
right.
So you can take some guesses and kind of risk waiting on something, but you can't really do that on 4 just because there's too much to go on. Exactly, especially like early on when you don't know the direction that like a lot of these drafts are going down. Like, I mean, like you kind of know where most Snorlaxes take, you know, on their 2nd and 3rd pick,
right?
And you kind of know generally
River,
like
apparently.
What works well for Zap. But yeah, unless it's River.
Do you think any of these gamers were like, "Fuck you, River"?
But
that was my Alakazam. God damn it.
There probably there's got to be at least one, but yeah, I think that 4th is just undesirable. It just feels weird, and you're kind of forced into what you take. Like, and you're like, well, do I want Celebi who's flawed, or do I want Tyranitar who's flawed?
Yeah.
I think going 4th and picking up Celebi just lets picks 5, 6, 7 like just breathe a sigh of relief. Like, oh, thank God, I don't have to do a Celebi draft.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and I'd like to talk about this draft specifically. I think Pocket's draft is actually an example of what I dislike usually about Celebi spikes. It has a melodic, which is extremely passive outside of like hypnosis, and you're not engaging with its bulk enough because Hariyama needs something to break for it. You need Tauros and Entei aren't being broken for at all. Well, a Vaporeon could be breaking for them, but that just isn't. So all of your offense is plugged into Fortress on your spikes, And Forge just is not a mon that can spike forever.
It's a terrible Pokemon. I hate that guy. Oh my god.
Forte Triss at it again.
It's just
Celebi is an offense guy with a lot of options. It likes being able to run Combine plus whatever coverage it wants to try and like dominate a team. It likes offensive leech seed sets like an OU. It likes like baton pass stuff. So having it with Milotic and then being forced into slow, grounded. The only ground immune is Soul Rock. I would like to highlight that.
That is a very good point.
Oh,
It's an astute
So it's
observation.
like it has to be a defensive team, but it's a defensive team that has loads of grounded guys, weak to spikes. It's
Yeah.
The
it's
Tyro
really
Strap.
awesome.
Like very reliant
it's
on
a
the
Tyro
spin
Strap.
here. And so this
Yeah.
thing is
It's
going to
on
get
Tyro
targeted.
It's
I
gonna
think,
get flamed into the sun.
get rid of Fortress. Get like. Is this gonna be the second time I recommend Quillfish tonight? That's crazy. Just like Spikes is fine.
Yo.
I do agree that like Vaporeon over Milotic does kind of really it makes this team
Hooks.
pass the eye test like much better. I think if that makes sense.
And
makes
it
the
should
team
be
not
better with
soft.
that.
Spreaked
Yeah,
in
the
take vape
fundamental
until a
problem with
couple
the
picks
draft.
later.
Yeah, it's just that the draft is like really passive when it could have been really offensive. And when you're drafting Celebi, you want to be really offensive. You want to be the person that makes everyone rush their game. You want to play 12 turns.
I
So
want
the
to
You
team
don't
is
want it to be ending in
antithetical.
12 turns because of a meteor mash raise on turn 1. You want to be ending because that's what you plan for.
So the team is
Oh,
antithetical to the
shit.
first pick if you Celebi. That's funny as hell.
Oh, dude.
However, it could have also been like a successful, really bulky draft with Celebi and Milotic. You go like, okay, I'm gonna lean into the recover traits, and Celebi's beaten by fire types, so my Milotic beats the fire type, so it's gonna work out. But then the third pick, Hariyama, it's just that's not a Pokemon that wants to be on like a
No.
stally kind of a team. So even if you go, Milotic isn't so bad. I'm happy with making a bulky team. The Hariyama makes it like really not happy because that's another
I
slow,
get
grounded guy.
I get why they chose Hariyama. Like defensively, I think that it like Thick Fat serves a lot for both Celebi and Fortress, but like I don't know. It just feels wrong.
Hariyama is a DD Tarchek and not a fighter here. If Hariyama could be a Hitmonchan
Yeah.
and do it equally as well.
I think
that
that's
is a
fair.
problem.
Check is Wallace.
That's fire.
Interesting.
Yes.
I want to point out, it seems, just vibes-wise, it seems like you guys are not like thrilled about this. Zinc actually
just
gave
like-
this a 7 out of 10, saying, I think all these mods are good in a vacuum, looks a little passive, but you have
See-
boosting and booms to fix that. Nothing egregious except that the only flying is Soul Rock, but I think the massive amount of Fizz Def on the team, thanks to Fori Milo, allows you to do this and not feel stupid for it.
This is something that I was thinking this earlier. When I said that it is a Tyros draft, I think it's also a Zinc draft, to be totally fair. I think that there are a lot of mons that Zinc loves on this team. I know that Zinc loves Milo, Zinc loves Fortress. I think that Zinc has a thing for Tauros, I think. I might be crazy on that one. But regardless, this seems like a thing that I could see Zinc drafting, and I think that might be a bit of bias coming through. Not to say that it's bad, but I don't think that it's as good as, I don't think it's 7 at all.
I think this is a checklist draft, if you wanted to use a word.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, explain what a checklist draft is.
You fill up roles
Ooh.
that you need to fill without thinking about how it offensively puts together.
Okay. So
Right,
is
you're
this,
like,
are we
"Ooh, I
feeling
gotta
C
get
for
my
this?
electric resist.
I think C's fine. Yeah.
I think this stuff's D. I think we're gonna. It's so cool. You're gonna get like Don Fan coming in.
Okay,
and
well,
clicking
let's-
I feel like the
Earthquake and-
Taurus
That's
raises
honestly
this
fair.
year.
Yeah.
Let's
Like C
vote
is
on this. Starting from the top. Nephew, do you have an opinion on this?
To me, it seemed like from my zero experience, attempting to go via a checklist just seems to fail because from what I've seen, Celebi seems to enjoy offensive builds and building in a
Nephew, give me
Hey,
a
I'm learning.
letter, brother. Give me C or D.
D.
D. Okay,
This
we
looks
got
like
D.
T.
All right, Forte, what do you think?
I think it's way worse than the Clone draft, so D.
Yeah, I
Okay.
agree. It's worse than the Cloud draft, and the Cloud draft is an adequate C.
Okay,
Okay,
that's
yeah.
already going to
really
be a majority.
controversial. I think it's C or D, but I think since I think the person behind it, this is like a B pocket draft. Does that make sense? This guy, like, I don't know, he's like a salty merchant. I
Pocket
think he can-
definitely he thrives with drafts that are kind of a little bit offbeat, I think. So I could see him still doing well with this.
Yeah, I think the Tauros boosted to C, but if we've agreed on D, then we've agreed on D.
And again, we can if we can come back
it
and
might get moved up later.
Yeah.
maybe there's going to be some
Well,
heinous
if it's
shit,
up in
and
B-
upon further review, this will actually be in
Yeah.
B. Who knows?
Maybe it just
Maybe
looks
we need
more
to
like
add
the
an
code
F
draft
tier.
is like top of C tier, and then we add the D tiers in, and it's like, okay, well, this is clearly not that bad. So
True.
It goes up.
All right. Well, we're 4 out of 32, so I think we should maybe try to pick the pace up a bit. But we'll dive into JBL here in the green 5.
Oh my god, this draft was so close to being outstanding,
These are
and then
Gyarados. Holy.
he just didn't. So this follows. Seeker ended up over the last couple months devising like the perfect starting 3 for Tyranitar that covers so many like later picks, and this is it. It starts with T-Tar, goes Gyarados and Swampert, and they're just defensively and offensively so fucking good together. I think Jolteon works well here. I think Machamp works well here. I think Jumpluff works well here. I think they should have gotten spikes. I really, 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 really think that this would have been an outstanding draft if it had spikes. It just doesn't. And I think that taking Gardevoir instead of Quillfish was a mistake. I get why they took it.
3
But it was
Quillfishes
so
mentioned.
close.
3 missed
This,
Quillfishes.
I think this is the most egregious though. This team needs spikes. Like I was talking with him about matchups not that long ago, like a week ago, and I was telling him like, bro, if you just had spikes, this would be so much better. Like Jumpluff would go from like a good Pokemon here to like a top probably 4 Pokemon on this team, because like it like forcing people to switch on, you know, spikes and sand, and you have leech seed, and like it's gonna slowly whittle everything down until you can just clean. And it's just without spikes, that's so much harder. I think this team works a lot harder than it has to because it doesn't have spikes.
Yeah, the commentary that I'd like to give is conventional wisdom with Tyranitar is a lot of people, they like getting their spikes and they like getting their special wall, they like their Chansey and their Registeel and shit like that. So a lot of these Tyranitar drafts look a bit more balanced. However, there's been a lot of talk and not a lot of playing of, you know, Tyranitar Gyarados is actually really good because they both Dragon Dance and they both kill lots of things. So we will see this in action. We don't really have a good frame of reference for how well this works. Me personally, I think that not having spikes because you have a Machamp is fine. And I think that they would together be a little bit bad. So I don't hate this like the way that it is. It's just I kind of disagree with the premise, but it's yet to be seen, right?
Yeah, this reminds me a lot of a draft by Rambo in, I believe, ZTL2 redraft, where you had Tyranitar, you had Gyarados, Swampert, Blissey, Cloyster. I think if this draft, it had Jumpluff as well. I think if this draft went more in that direction with Cloyster, I think this would be a lot better over Machamp.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's based. I can take spikes over Machamp. That seems good.
It's
Yeah,
spikes.
then you have
It's-
11 points left for whatever your actual rock resist needs to be.
I
Or no, you have a
wish that
Swampert.
there
So
I
you
don't
don't need
Staryu, by the way.
Yeah.
Holy Staryu.
Staryu
has
been
and-
amazing.
and-
I think
and it
Staryu
can-
is
it can
kind of
be-
real.
Yeah, I like
At
Staryu.
85, it's
Had a,
85 speed. I mean, it'll work in a pinch. I tried Wartortle as like, which I think is probably the second best 1-pointer spinner. Not that there's any real like value there at all, but like it's something. And the fact that it's fast enough that it can, in theory, outspeed something is, I think, some value. More value than we'll find in a lot of 1-pointers.
It
I
outspeeds
wish the
Glalie,
team
so you
had
can
a
beat that.
better. I wish this team had a better way to deal with offensive waters that wasn't just like stacking something and going Jolteon.
Sure,
I
yeah.
think JBL
that's
brings up a
true.
really good
Well,
point in chat, actually.
And I
Sorry,
wanted to ask
cut you
about
off.
that. JBL
Oh, yeah.
is here, and shout out to JBL. Welcome to the stream. They wanted Machamp because they knew they were going to play a lax round 1. Is it possible to know that while you're drafting based on your seed? Like, did you know who you were
It's
playing?
very, yeah. Like if you're playing into a top 4 seed, in theory, all of them should have Snorlax, because Snorlax, you're gonna get your choice of. You're basically gonna be guaranteed a first pick if you're top 4 seed. Nobody's gonna be turning that down.
It's kind
So
of crazy.
it's-
Champ reminds me of myself, Laura. Yeah, I
That's
got a Tyranitar
hysterical.
because I'm also like 8 foot and jacked.
All right, JBL, fair enough.
I think under that logic, I think Tar Machan makes a lot more sense. I think I actually like it in the context of I'm trying to counter team my opponent who I know will have Snorlax. I still think I
so
would have
gross.
preferred Cloyster, but I understand the reasoning, and I think I'm willing to like boost it up a grade or something like that.
But like,
Yeah.
what if they don't bring the Snorlax?
Well, I think that's what
And,
happened.
Is that
Well,
what
see,
happened?
that's the thing. Is like,
No, they
yeah.
did. They did. So
I
you
still
got
think this is a
Snorlax.
good draft. I think this is an A tier draft, personally. I don't think
I
that
don't
it's
know
quite
about
S,
that high.
but I think it's A tier.
Zinc gave it a 4 out of 10, starting her comments with, I don't really know what's going on here.
Oh,
Me
God.
neither. You and me both.
Yeah.
She pointed
I don't
out
wanna
the
hate too
spikes
hard.
thing. She pointed out, like, once T-Tar gets chipped, doesn't Zam just kind of, like, own your entire family?
No, Gardevoir beats it. Gardevoir actually beat Zam in the game because it was versus
Yeah.
Zam, and Gardevoir bounced off Hidden Power. It took like 18%.
And then it throws off Shadow Ball. And
Well, it
it's
shows
over.
how much she knows.
Yep, that's true.
Okay, well,
She was
I feel
yammering.
this might be the one where I feel like the most disparity. I feel like there's some people who are kind of feeling this, and there's others who are not so much feeling this. We might compromise in the B or C at some point. What are our vibes right now?
I'm a happy B tier. I think it's got potential. It might be
Adequate.
okay.
The vibes
agree.
around
Adequate
will
tier.
be
Yeah, I'll say I'm definitely biased. JBL and I share the same draft brain cell. We're very. I think we prefer similar things, so I'm just naturally going to like this more.
Do we
but,
like
I
this
mean,
more than Klurd's Maldo?
Yes,
draft?
absolutely.
Yeah,
yes.
better
Yep,
than that. Yeah.
Not as good as Spreeks, clearly. So we're probably
no.
Yeah,
lowish
I think
B
this
tier
is fine.
for now.
I like
That's fair.
this position.
There we go.
Looks good.
All right, gamers. Sharky King.
oh, hey, Sharky.
Oh my God.
Draft.
I would
Okay,
love to
everybody
start
knows
this one
draft.
off.
We can skip this. Oh, God.
Um, I love Zink's comments for this one, and we'll let her start off the occasional discussion. This time, 5 out of 10. I fucking hate this, but Sharky wins with me, Hero, Glalie all the time, so it's probably fine. Kang as the Spadef guy is concerning. Weezing and Mischievous feels super passive. Still could see this getting a win, but only because Sharky's using it. And only Rock Resist Ride-On looks incredibly stupid, but you have Arrow/Tar counterplay, so I'll let it slide. Heh, this time.
Woo!
Yeah, I think Zig
Yeah.
said everything I could say. It's like
Definitely agree with that. I fucking hate this opener. Definitely agree with that.
Yeah, it's tough.
Right on as your only electric check just pisses me off so bad. Like, cause like obviously like this is like this
I'm
is the guy
scared.
that loses to grass.
Like
right?
Zapdos with like any hidden power, like absolutely
Yeah.
owns your.
I mean, you
thing.
have Starmie Arrow, which like eats most of the electrics, but I don't know. I feel like this is like one of the
It'll be
few
Witch Protect
drafts.
Kenga.
Yeah, you gotta be Spadef Kangon like most of the time. Otherwise, you're getting eaten alive by Electrode, and that's like
Yep.
really embarrassing.
Yeah, but Spadef
That's true.
Kanga is so good. Like, I don't even think that's a
It
negative.
is.
Interesting.
No.
Support Kanga's good.
It's just unkillable. Like, it's insane. Oh my God.
But this team has like one gear. Like you're
Yes.
just pedal to the fucking metal and hope you get to the finish line before your opponent.
Well,
I
I mean,
it's
you'd
a
like to be
recycle
like
draft.
that, but you have a Weezing.
There is a Weezing
Yeah.
exists.
So,
Yes, that's true.
I
I don't
think
know.
that this just lets Sharky recycle half of his sets that he made from earlier this year, and I think he'll be able to use everything repeatedly because, like you said, it has one gear. Like a lot of the sets are going to be the same no matter the matchup. Like you might change a couple things. Like maybe he'll run HP Grass Arrow in the right matchup, which is a fun little tech that I've seen him pull off once or twice. But it's interesting. I think it's a B tier though. We've seen it before. It's done well for exclusively him, and so it feels weird to kind of rate.
I think this should C tier. The other one's better because you got the exact same thing in the other one.
Both better mons.
Fair.
Okay. Anybody else feel super strongly towards B versus C tier here?
I'm gonna advocate for C because I don't think having your rock resist be right on and your electric check be right on, and then just hoping to God start the arrow like bails you out is a good plan unless you're Sharky King. Then it's an okay
Yep.
plan.
Zangus
That's
is
fair.
going to
Because
hit a
what
power
Martini
grass you,
said.
and you're cooked.
Okay. Do we like this
flags.
more or less than the Klurd draft?
Probably more.
I like
Maybe.
it more just because of who's piloting it. Sharky's kind of a madman, so he'll
I
make
like
it work.
more 'cause it has
But-
spikes, and you can win games
Yes.
with spikes.
That's true. Spikes
Yes.
and toss.
All right. This next one, I'm excited for this one. We got Forte
Ooh.
Gaming.
Yes. Okay.
Ooh.
I'll save some comments that Zinc shared, and Zinc is Zinc is in the the sheet right now with us.
Yeah,
What's
let's
up,
let
Zinc?
Forte lead off with what his logic was.
Okay, so first of all, Zinc has been like Martini. I feel like those two have been my number one, the biggest haters of exclusively my drafts for as long as I've been drafting. I've seen this every time, every single tournament. One of those two comes in and shits on my drafts. Okay, so I'm not surprised to see it.
Have you read the comments already?
However,
Have you read Zinc's comments?
Oh yes, I have. I have many thoughts on Zinc's comments, but
Yeah, start us off. You have the floor.
Regardless. Okay, so offensively, I think this team fucks. Like it's not even like I think this team is one of those, like I said before, that wins in 10 turns or eats shit in 10 turns, and there's really no in between.
Okay.
And that's fine. I think that the pace that this operates at is like really, really strong. And I think that overcomes some of the defensive shortcomings. I will say, like, having access to 3 booms, Dodrio and Raikou feels really strong. They kind of just set tempo forever, and it is really a great Cloister draft. Cloister's my guy. I think it's the second best spiker, only after Skarmory, which is something that.
Comment in chat.
Oh yeah,
God, what is it?
Led Zepp's best one. They're my most unhinged viewer. Just leave them alone. They're fine.
Oh my fucking god!
Try not to laugh.
Are we good? It's fine.
Raikou D-Knight
They're always like
is
that.
it's a very known core. Everybody know, like a very good offensive core. Just kind of like that's all that you need, and then you can usually just kind of focus on a lot more defensive pieces or support. And I think Claydol fits it fine. I was kind of kicking myself for not picking Machamp, to be honest with you, but that's whatever. I think that Dragonite plus another fast, strong flyer that likes Choice Band is like really good together. They just kind of break for each other, and it's perfect. And I think Poliwrath's a fun little guy, and I like that.
I agree.
So yeah,
I would be remiss if I didn't share Zinc's thoughts, and I need to hear your
Yes.
response, because she went off a little bit. 2 out of 10.
I know. Yeah.
Oh God. So first of
Yes.
all, if I get my type chart Timmy glasses on, I can see that there are 2 T-Bolt resists in 3 weeks. That sounds bad, but it gets a lot worse. Bolt ice coverage kind of just eats the team alive, so you need a perfectly healthy Raikou or Claydol. And there's 1 Tox immune on this. Sure, Miltank has Heal Bell, but it's also pressured by Thunderbolt, not to mention shit like D-Knight is perfectly happy to chuck T-Bolt onto its DD set. This team has even more issues, but I want to keep these brief, so I'll just say good luck against CB Ments.
Look at CB. My brother in Christ, CB Ments. Okay, sure. I mean, look, Cloister.
I don't think we need to go into everything. I think it's like
No, it's fine. Look, I'm not saying that this is perfect. I'm saying I think that 2 out of 10 is absolutely overkill. But you know, I get the concerns.
It feels like you guys are friends, and she's kind of just giving you shit a little bit.
Yeah.
Like if this was not you, maybe she would have done like a 3 or a 4 out of 10, even if she doesn't agree with it.
No, I think she would still give this. I think she's being totally honest, but you know that's okay. I respect her.
Really, to be honest.
Yeah, of course. You know, I would want that.
Okay.
There was
Oh
a
my God.
news report, and the news report said that a polar wrath has been spotted in Arlington, Texas. What's he doing there?
Wait, really?
That's interesting.
The
Breaking
polygraph
news.
is part of a bigger thing I think about this draft. I think it could be as calculated by. This looks like an EO3 draft.
Yeah.
This
That's really
fair.
that's mean. How could you say that?
That's fair.
Holy shit.
It's so mean.
Yeah. The back end guy is just like, I don't know. I wouldn't want to bring Poliwrath, Haunter, or Dodrio. So every week you're just
I
like
think-
looking at one
I
of them
think
and you're like,
I think
my 3
Dodrio
little
is so.
chuddies.
I think Dodrio is so under explored. I think that it reading the calcs that I've seen for this guy make it kind of look insane. Like I don't know why I've never seen anybody good draft Dodrio. Like it's usually just like the randoms that are just looking for strong flyers,
The
and
only
it's
Dodrio I have seen is Zinc hitting a Hyper Beam clip in CDL. Not CDL,
That's right.
the other one. CDD. A tournament no one remembers for good reason.
fair.
I'd say that
I
we should
think
probably.
E tier.
Null is
personally.
saying that there's ball knowledge lacking, and that this is a B tier. draft.
I
Thank
think
you,
that
Nell.
Nell and
That's
Forte
my
are
go
both
right
wrong.
there.
I think
mean,
that
like,
if this
I
is a
it's not
C
a
tier,
solid
then
game,
Klur
man.
is a B tier, and I can't accept that. So this is a D tier for me.
Rax saying
tier.
D tier.
Whoa.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I agree.
River,
I don't
haven't
think
heard
it's that
you.
bad.
I haven't heard River's
This
thoughts on
shit's
this.
It's a D tier.
Okay,
Oh
that's
my
that's
God.
2 Ds. Zinc would have put it in D.
F for Forte.
Look,
Okay,
man.
No,
Forte
no,
was.
no,
I think
Dax, I'm
Forte was
joking.
trying to get it up here. Martini
think
and
D is
Rax.
fair.
What do you think?
I think that if we put in the same tier as Klur's draft, then we'd have to put Klur's up. So I'd say D tier.
Oh my god.
I'm sorry. I think the lone voices are getting overruled.
that's-
Can it at
Okay,
least
okay,
go at
y'all
the
are-
top of
everybody
D?
remember
Can
this.
we surpass Pocket?
Yeah. I think I think both. Yeah, I think based on some of the stuff we'll see it later, we'll understand that these drafts are nowhere near as bad as the worst of the worst. So I think
There will be
stay in D
inflation.
now, but there will be inflation.
It'll get pushed up to C later. And Forte, I invite you to
Yeah.
just keep this in your back. But you put this on your
Oh,
bulletin
I will.
board.
No.
We're gonna be forced to make an F tier.
Prove the haters wrong. We may need to create an
Oh,
entire
absolutely.
tier.
No, and I will say like I remember ZTL2 was the first tournament that I actually like did well in, and I think Martini and Zinc ranked my redraft as like I think bottom 2 or 3, and I ended up getting 3rd. So this will be
That is hype.
a repeat. So we'll
And,
see.
You know, sometimes I mean I think a lot of people, and I'm not a ball knower, but I'm learning some of the sentiments, and I think people have looked at like Null's drafts and thought like, what the hell is he doing? But then he keeps kind of like popping the fuck off, and then you know we see things like Marowak moving up. Maybe you're just a little ahead of the curve. People are you're Emerald Open 3. No, maybe this is an Emerald Open 7 move, but the people just don't know it yet.
Peru.
I guess
That's tough.
I
That's
should
tough.
know. I am like very notorious for being the biggest D Knight hater in like the ADV draft sphere.
That's also
I have
true.
I have a whole document just like hate watching the thing in every redraft. Like
You have
I'm a
stats for how much damage it does before dying per tournament. And
That's
every
hilarious.
game it takes Ice Beam.
I might
or,
be
like,
obsessed.
it's
Fucking
another one.
awesome.
Snapchat, enemies are better than friends.
Yeah.
All right, gamers. We are nearly a quarter of the way through, an hour into the stream, so we need to keep
Oh my
picking up
God.
the pace here.
Yes.
Among Us Blaster, Zinc gave it a 6
Go.
out of 10, saying it's fine, not inspiring, but could win a couple games. Any strong opinions?
It's another Zinc draft, to be honest with you. But
This is not a Zinc draft.
no, I see Regis
Even
Donphan,
catch-
and I
I
think,
don't know.
oh, well, you know, no.
I think this is a
Dude.
very good draft. It just has to draft with 13 less points than everyone else.
What, you don't fuck with Heracross?
Doesn't
'cause
fuck
of
with
Heracross.
Hera, bro.
Oh,
What?
Yeah,
But that's my
I-
guy.
I agree. Heracross spikes is bad.
Across, but yeah.
Yes, the other 7 guys I think are very good. I really like it. There's a lot of really smart decisions. It's just a Heracross. I don't see what it does here.
I think
I
they
agree
fucked
with
up by not
Wraxius.
just copying Nell's homework again for like the 15th time. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Is this a null
Well-
disciple right here?
No, but it should have been. Like this draft would have been so much better if they drafted like Nell. Like Salamence Skarmory is a very good starting 2.
Yeah.
And like they just went in such a fucking bleh kind of direction with it, and it's slow and it doesn't work, and it's just like Heracross is
No, I
not.
fuck with this. I don't know.
I don't know.
Maybe I'm like the lone
Good
dissenting
mons, but it's
voice.
clunky. Low B tier.
I think this is pretty good. I mean, I don't know.
It's like a prototype of what Now likes to draft. Like
Okay.
I
I
think.
want to give it
Reminder-
low A tier personally. I think that there's a lot of
Hell
really smart
no.
decisions. But
It also does like Martini's thing of like not having a 110 or faster Pokemon.
Oh,
it's,
yeah.
it's really slow outside of that Salamence.
Yeah.
It's slow and clunky, and the offense is awkward. However, it has good mons and it's bulky, and I like the Pokemon on it, so it's a low B tier. But I don't know what you're talking about with this A tier stuff.
It's definitely not an A tier. No.
Not yet.
I guess that'll just be my hot take. B tier is fine.
Okay. Are we cool with it being behind the JBL like self Machamp?
Yeah.
Glazing?
I think it's just I think it's boring and lacks a lot of like the sort of like X factor that JBL's does or that JBL's has. So I think that we can safely say that.
fair. All right, we are through the Emerald pool, and so far we have a good mix. No S tier. Some grouping up in the middle here a little bit. We move on to the chicken pool. which was named the chicken pool for some reason, for some unknown reason.
Also,
Seeker
it's-
taking Lax #1 overall, like River did, and also getting a shit rock alongside a separate shit rock or a shit steel.
Yeah.
How do we feel?
I can explain this a bit better because I was an advisor for Seeker.
Okay.
Oh, you let this happen?
Yeah,
Sorry.
so
You
the
let
plan with
happen.
this, I did in fact let this happen. The plan was with this was that it was going to create dynamic, volatile positions that were going to be difficult to play out. But Seeker was A, confident that he could play it out, and B, confident that he could comfortably build sets with these Pokemon. He was comfortable with them. He liked the positions they created. He figured he could outplay his opponents, and his opponents wouldn't be able to play as well as he could with all these boomers with the Entei.
I'm just saying, everybody was doubting Poliwrath like 2 drafts ago, and now look at you. Look at
is,
this team.
This is the best
That's true.
Poliwrath
It
matchup
prized
of all
this.
time.
I think that dynamic volatile matchups is a very fancy way of saying it has 6 explosions.
Hey, watch my boy Shedinja cook.
Yeah, dude,
It's more of
Shedinja.
dynamic and volatile against fighter specifically.
Shedinja last is honestly diabolical.
I love it.
It fits really well.
I'm
Like
here
I do
for it.
love that as a pick. Yeah.
It's
This is
funny.
this is who Null is playing this weekend, right?
Yes.
Yes, indeed.
Is he bringing
Or,
that matchup?
no, I don't think it's
can't
this
remember.
draft. It's the other draft that he's using.
Right. I just
Okay.
yeah. I didn't know what the matchup was, but I thought this was the
Oh.
op. And that's gonna
Oh,
be
you know
that's
Seeker
gonna be
has
kind
also
of
openly said. Seeker has said that his mentality when making this was that explosion is a speed stat, and I think you can tell.
I mean, he also has 2 T waves. That's like actual speed stat.
Yeah, Null, that's
So,
a good
yeah.
point from Null in the chat. This team from Seeker already won a tour. Zink pointed that out too, saying Seeker justified this by saying the structure won a tournament, but that was back in ZTL 1. Good luck these days. Giving it a 6 out of 10.
There's a lot more tech, I think, than there was at that point in time. I think people are taking this a lot more seriously than ZTL 1 was being taken. So,
the
yeah.
quality of player has gone up tremendously since ZTL
Mhm.
1, and so you can get away with that in a tour where we have like ZTL 1 again, another tour where you're going to see like Zaptar stuff, so you're going to see like some bad drafts. And I get that this was like a redraft he did, so maybe my point doesn't really stand, but I just, it's old. This is like a draft from post EO4, like the really early days of like the quote unquote like ADV draft boom. Oh, it's just
Where does it
slow.
go?
The fastest mon on Claydol, man. We can't have fastest mon Claydol outside
It's
of
fast.
That is
No,
fucking
there's
insane. I could not play this team.
I would say high B because I was part of the making of it. I think if we say high C or low B, that's fair as well.
I think it'd be. I like this a lot. At least in concept, I think it can be very just super dangerous.
Null saying
so.
A tier minimum. Holy shit. River, what do you think?
To me,
I
oh,
feel
God,
okay
it's-
saying this because I really like his other one. I think this is D, and my vote's an outlier, so ignore me.
Okay, so we have Null as an outlier up here, River as an outlier down here. I think that means we keep it in B.
God, it's so.
I like
I think
the other
that's
one.
fair.
I like his
Maybe,
other
maybe.
draft. The other draft is good.
That's crazy.
I'd say this is. I at least think this is better than Among Us Blaster's draft. I don't know if we're all in agreement.
Absolutely not. I can't agree with
Whoa.
that in good conscience.
Whoa.
You guys both have agendas here. Because Among Us Blaster's your guy, and Seeker's your guy.
True.
That's like kind of true.
There's going to be a lot of
I don't
bias injected into this. We understand that. We reckon with that. River, I understand you would prefer it be under Among Us Blaster.
No, just ignore me. It's fine.
No,
Forte can be tiebreaker.
I think it should be above Among Us Blasters. Again, I just think it's more proactive than that one is personally. So I think that it wins the tie for me.
All right, we'll use you as a tiebreaker and we'll move on. Can somebody tell me how to pronounce Aeonfa?
Aeonfa?
There's a
Yeah,
lot of
it's just
motherfuckers in
a-
this community with nearly impossible names to pronounce, and I just
Aeonfa's name came from just mashing a keyboard on the showdown
yeah,
name
and
select.
I-
and it's
I
just stuck.
know.
Yeah,
I know. Like why, bro?
it's fucked up. Yeah,
It's
but
you can very recognizably tell that it's keyboard smash. So like,
Yeah,
It's all
let's
like-
have River start off this one. River hasn't started off.
True. River, what do you think?
Oh, do I have to?
I can start off if you want.
Yeah, you go.
Okay, so this is like classic Aonfa. This guy's like very much well known for doing like Zap Vap Hypno stuff. Miltank
Yeah.
usually on these types of teams. This is like kind of his
Comfort.
sort of deal.
His
I
bread and butter.
think that it's okay, but the problem is your sole rock resist on this team is Nidoqueen, and I guess kind of a spoiler for one of the games. Acid
God.
Armor Vaporeon, I guess you can say counts as a rock resist. I'm not a fan of that. I'm also not a fan
Is
of
that
it kind of being
Popium?
psychic weak. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's like alright, it'll win games. I'm thinking B.
Zinc gave it a 3, saying that
Oof.
just super sucks in a tar. The rock resist is Nidoqueen.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You just
it's
can't
not.
load this
My-
guitar.
Yeah.
This loses to Iron Tail Tauros.
That's fact. My
Get outta
summary
here.
Oh,
is
that's
just like
true.
it's not that bulky, but it doesn't really have big breakers. There's no like fighting or fire types, and the spikers are Pineco. I think it's not great offensively, and it's not great defensively, so I don't love it. But it's not like abhorrent, right? Like it beats stuff. It's just kind of boring.
Yeah.
Hoping to out-sustain.
It's
some
like it's just
drafts.
8 guys that Forte, or sorry, Aonfa has drafted before. He's
Yeah.
good with them. I believe he got second in like
Mhm.
2 or 3 tours with basically this draft before.
Yeah, he does well with all of these guys. I helped him build for the Sharky matchup, and it was kind of a nightmare into Arrow Rhydon. It was miserable, and I do think that is a definite point against it. I think, but again, these are all mons that he's an expert at piloting, so I think that means that it can't be like, it definitely can't be D tier.
I think in a vacuum, this team is way too disrespectful towards rock types to put this above C.
Yeah, I'm getting C vibes from you guys. Do we like it more or less than the Clerd and Sharky King drafts here?
Yeah, I like the
Kinda
Clerd one
less.
more.
I think
The
I like
Clerk
it
one
less.
has
to be honest
Marowak,
with
so it beats stuff. But then the Ampha
Right.
one doesn't have Marowak, so it doesn't beat stuff.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. I think Aonfa below Clear and Sharky King is fair.
Okay. Geronis, aka the player I'm playing in some Smogon like seasonal tournament this week
Ooh.
sometime.
Oh, you're playing winter seasonals.
Yo, in low key, everybody like in my Discord, I was like, oh, I play Geronis, so I think I'd recognize them. They're like in Mushy, right? And everyone's like, oh, dude, you're cooked. Oh, dude, you're so fucked. Oh, dude, they're a beast. It's like, okay, I'm gonna remember. I'm gonna remember all that shit.
Wait, did
He's
you say
very good.
Giannis?
He's
Did you say
good.
Giannis or Euronus?
I said
Geronis.
Geronis, but maybe I'm pronouncing your name
Wow.
wrong.
Yeah, no, it's
Giannis is
Geronis.
someone else completely.
Yeah.
I'm aware.
But-
I'm aware.
Yeah, Geronis is he's, I think that in terms of OU, he's a DPP main. I know he was a starter, I think, on US South for DPP World Cup.
That's dope.
So yeah, no, he's a very good player. Potentially the greatest Gen 3 draft player. I mean, at least historically.
Maybe
He's
the
had a
greatest,
pretty
maybe the best.
maybe, but he's had like a pretty like underwhelming season, I think, for him. And I think that this draft looks old to me. I can't explain it. When you guys said that there was a draft that looked like an EO3 draft earlier, I think this also kind of does. It's weird. I think that Metagross, Blissey, Arrow is a weird starting 3. I think Metagross, Blissey is awesome. I think Arrow third without spikes is kind of unforgivable, to be honest with you.
Yep, need spikes. C tier.
Yeah, I'm
That's
kind
fair.
of in agreement with the need spikes C tier.
I,
like,
yeah.
Meta Bliss Twice is great, but you want to go in like a balanced direction, and like the arrow kind of seems out of place. I think the arrow's great for dealing with some of the threats that can, like some of the like CMers or not CMers, some of the like
Yeah.
setup guys that are gonna try to break through the Meta Bliss Twice sort of defensive core. It's nice
Yeah.
to like outspeed them.
Yeah, I think this draft just like falls into the common pitfall that most meta arrow drafts fall into, where it's really hard to be both defensively coherent and have spikes. And this one shows defensively coherent.
True.
Yeah. I don't think it's bad, but it's just it's flawed again.
Which
Yeah.
IP?
that's Zink's biggest problem with it too, is that the spikes never came. Despite this, all these Pokemon are good, so I have faith in the draft, even though the act of shooting oneself in the foot, super defensively reasonable, but probably the first time I ever wished a Scyther was a Quillfish. Oh my god, another Quillfish mention. Let's go.
Oh my god.
I don't think
I mean, it's
think
just
this one could have fit. Yeah, unfortunately.
Okay.
I don't know. I think we need to raise Quillfish's price. This guy seems kind of beast.
Okay, so this
Nobody
is
picked him.
where in C
God.
tier is this going?
I'd probably put it
well-
above Aeonfa, but below Clerd.
I think it's
think that's
above
fair.
Clerd, because that's another Metagross Blissey draft, but I think that...
Bird has spikes.
Oh, it's hard.
Clerd has spikes.
And a
Okay,
Marowak.
he's got
Actually,
Pineco.
Let's Pineco is
Pineco is
That counts.
oh, I love that guy. Yeah, no, that
Are
totally
we,
does
are we
count.
really saying that, Gerardus' draft would raise up a bit if he had a Pineco?
It would.
Yeah.
No, that's the
I-
thing. It
I
totally
don't
would.
know. I don't know.
I-
I'm like a big Pineco glazer. That guy can live a T-Tar rock slide. Crazy statistic, by the way. But I don't
Crazy
think.
guy.
I don't think that. Needs.
Yo,
He's better
Martini-
than Fortress. Like I
Martini's just
cannot
scoping right now.
Yeah, let's talk about Gang's draft. River, what are your thoughts on Gang's draft? I know you have some stuff about Celebi.
it's the second draft that went
okay.
Celebi Milo in the 4th position, but rather than going Yama, they went Jolt, Cloy, Molt.
Right.
I like that
So I like
selection.
this more than the other one, I think. I think this is also a smelly melodic buy because yeah, I don't know. I like this more. I like Vigoroth. I think it's a really cute pick with Encore in that it helps out your defensive guys where you'd normally struggle with some Sword Stancers, some big bulky breakers, some Calm Minders. Vigoroth with Encore is a really cute tick at the end.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, it just depends how much you like the Pokemon. Like, Steelix is known for being not the greatest, and you kind of just get it because you have to.
It kind of sucks.
'Cause it has a good profile, but it doesn't do a lot. And Cloyster also has its own issues. So I think this is like in the B tier somewhere. It's it's the best Celebi melodic, I think.
No, that's a fair take. I haven't looked at all of them. Like, oh, that's the other one. Okay. Oh, there's not. I think that I roughly think the same. I think this is like if the melodic was a Vaporeon and the Steelix got to be like, I don't know, a Machamp or something. I don't think that was available though. But just like generally, I think if Steelix was a better Pokemon and the melodic was a Vaporeon, this would be really good. I like it a lot.
Yeah, Zink has some issues
Yeah.
with this. 3 out of 10. She says
Oof.
she's taken Cloyster and Steelix before, and it's not good. The team cheats on a lot
Right, okay.
defensively. Loses to Surf Thunder Tauros. Incredible observation.
Oh god.
um,
Surf Thunder Tauros.
I just think that you have to play the long game with Milo B, and this team has 2 Pokemon terrible at recovering health, Cloy and Lix, as the physical backbone. Milo will have to carry if this wins games. Also, I think Milo Cloy is bad. 3 out of 10.
I don't know. I respect the offense. I think being able to spike and go Jolt and go Molt, it's like it's not that passive. It's fine.
Yeah, it's not
I think
passive
so,
at
too.
all. It's just
I do
It's just
think
that,
that it would have been better if they had a ghost. I think that would have helped tremendously, especially with Cloyster, because you need to keep spikes on this, and you're trying to force roars and force switches. And so if you get spun on once Cloyster dies, which it's going to die pretty early most of the time, then the team just kind of lacks pressure, I think. And I think you needed to have a ghost type. Like I was in mocks for this when I was preparing into this team last week. I was able to spin pretty reliably with Smeargle, and I think that's a pretty bad sign. So
Not a good sign.
We're really starting to pile up in the middle here if this ends up going like B or C. Someday we might have to ask ourselves if Violet River's draft was truly S tier, if there's like nothing that's going to surpass that. We're not that deep into this, but what are our vibes for this? We seem to feel kind of mid about it. Some things
It's
to like,
B,
some things
low
not
B.
to like.
I fuck with Low B because it at least like has an offense plan with like spikes and Jolt Bolt, and Feldy can like do CM pass stuff too.
yeah.
Yep.
It cheating
It's
on
B because
normal.
Vigoroth's Shiest.
I'd probably put it at top of C, but I think bottom of B is also fair.
All right, it seems like it's mostly in the right spot. Thank you, gang. CG12, a gamer I've not heard of, with T-Tar, Gengar, Swampert, Fori, looking like OU, and Venusaur, Typhlosion,
So-
Ludicolo, Chimecho.
I can say that the
Chimecho.
starting 4 we've seen before. This is very similar to I remember Free Day specifically running this in I think it was Rev Draft. That was one where I played into it. I remember I shouldn't have won, but I did. He did have Chansey over Venusaur, which I think, as much as I hate Chansey, I do think it would have helped here a little bit. This team is kind of just, I don't know. There's something that feels off about the Venusaur pick, especially when you have Ludicolo.
It's
I
mixed
know.
attackers. That's the problem.
Yeah,
It's kind of just the same as OU, right? When you have your T-Tower, Pert, Fori, anything with Fire Blast and HP Grass is a big threat. And
True.
because you have Veno and Ludicolo, and neither of those is like something that can take on a mixed threat, it's really rough. So if you verse like Blaziken ever, or even like various
Mhm.
Tyrannotars, you're gonna struggle into that stuff. And I think that really limits it. I think T-Tar and Spikes is good if you can deal with mixed threats, but it's gonna be so hard versus a lot of those. So this is like high C.
Yeah, I think I've seen
Uh-huh.
this like basically exact draft before in other tours, and like it never wins.
Yep.
I can say from experience, I drafted pretty much the same thing in the ZTL1 redraft, and that shit did not go well at all. I think I ended up exiting the tour because of like Mixgar with like F Punch, and it just sticks out the team. It was really depressing.
That's literally what Zinc posted about. I don't have to think about the theory behind this that much because Martini took a draft pretty similar to this once, Big 5 LARP, and got his Sutar picked off by Focus Punch Gengar calling the switch while something with Fire Grass coverage cleaned up the rest of the game. That is an interesting point. Do you guys think, like, if and I know it probably isn't possible, but were the Swampert to have been like a Milo, does that improve the team considerably since you have something that can actually take mixed attackers?
Just the Ludicolo has to change. It has to be like a Slowking instead of the Ludicolo, and then it's good, in
Interesting.
my
Yeah.
opinion.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah,
I think that's fair.
that's
Like
reasonable.
Venusaur over Ludicolo, I think is fine in that general comp because like we said, we've seen this before. I think that the Ludicolo is usually one of the weaker aspects of it if you see it paired with that, and so I think Venusaur is a fantastic Pokemon. I think it fits well here, but like yeah, something's gotta shift with Ludicolo.
Null says saved by P2. Interesting
I
observation.
think, sure, P2 is also fine. That's another mixed check. I think
Yeah.
it's high C tier.
High C tier. Okay. So do we like it more than Sharky King and the rest?
I do personally. Yeah.
Yeah, I do.
All right,
I
sounds
can-
like
I
it's in the
can
right spot.
accept that.
I'm gonna start this one off with Zinc's comments for
Oh
C6
god.
Volta.
I won't say
I'm
anything.
gonna save the ranking for last here. So I've talked about cheating defensively before, but this is simply not showing up to the test defensively. That is a Graveler as the only normal resist. Not worth spending any more time thinking about. 0 out of 10. Holy shit. Does anyone disagree?
Nope.
I think having 3 Intims is worth mentioning. It will at least make the normal spam more difficult. I'm not saying that it's any worse than it would be, but it makes it a little less auto win, I guess. Now that being said, when you still are getting probably 2 or 3 shot by a Tauros, then that's not what you want to see. So
I think Zinc gave it too high a score.
Okay,
no.
so this is the worst one we've
do we
seen.
make F? Do we make
This is
F? Do we
definitely,
make
like-
F?
Do we need an
I
F tier
don't
for
know.
this?
We don't
I
need.
double
I
checked.
think that is like a little bit cyberbullying to be like, we
Yeah.
need
Yeah.
an F tier
I
for
don't
this
think
guy.
I don't think it's that bad. Yeah.
I
don't think
Well,
it's-
I do. It is really bad, but like we don't need to like.
We don't
entertain
need to
an F
like
tier. It's
like
fine.
put their desk in the corner of the
I think-
room. Of the
I will give it
classroom.
this. I will give it
Yeah.
this. I think that Gyarados, Hariyama, Tauros, Arcanine is very good offensive synergy. I like those
Yes.
ideas. I just think it can't live a singular hit.
Okay.
I said this before, like the tour, like right as draft I'm like, this is like triple Intim as you're playing into normals is fine, but once you get like a clear body guy, what are you doing? And that's exactly what we saw in one of the games. There was a clear body guy, and then
Yeah.
Zinc
Guess
is
we
like
just have
clicking
to
on
go to
different
losers.
Pokemon, so I know she's
Okay,
watching,
full
but she's
disclosure-
not like chatting. So like it's like she's
Also
trying to
on
say
that
things, but she's
Graveler,
not
what's
saying
going
anything.
on?
no. Okay, full disclosure, I am looking on the doc. We share a Zinc tournaments like Google account for doc stuff.
Oh, so that's not
I am
even
looking-
Zinc.
That's
That's
me.
you.
That's me. That's
You're
me.
LARPing as Zinc
Sorry.
right now.
I'm LARPing as Zinc.
I was like, Zinc, what the hell? Okay, no, she's probably doing something more important.
Yes.
Okay, Sleepy. Sleepy with
Oh my
Mence
God.
Me, Machamp, Glalie, Kangaskhan.
It's cool. I like it. It's cool.
I'd say this is the first contender for S tier. I think that this draft is.
Woo!
Whoa.
I also think that this is the first draft I want to acknowledge with the other draft. That is a lax draft. I think this pairs fantastically to matchup divide versus fighters. I think
Yeah.
this does fantastically to matchup divide versus sand. I think this does fantastically to matchup divide versus like. This one's a bit zapped this week, but you have a Snorlax draft.
It's
This
good
one-
versus
I-
Spikes because you have Starmie and the other one's Snorlax.
Yep, good
Mhm.
versus Spikes. I think Metagross is like a very like middling for matchup into both of them, but like they both have fantastic tools into Metagross. I think that this draft in combination with the other draft, I think it's an S tier. It's fantastic. I think
Okay.
it's very smartly made.
Does anybody
It's
not-
disagree
it's
with
like
that
I'm biased to
assessment?
give it S
It
tier.
needs to be.
I don't know about
mentioned-
S tier. The normal resistance.
I don't
is a
think
golem.
it's a.
Let's chill
yeah, I
a
was
little bit.
gonna say. That's
I-
what I was gonna say. Yeah, is the normal resist is a golem. We have to be completely fair. Last time we had normal resist Graveler, and that obviously didn't.
I think
over
I think
super well.
we're causing a null potential crash out. They just said bruh.
Oh no. Oh no.
Look, if women make Nal angry, then he should get a different life or something. I don't know.
He should get a different life. Holy
Whoa.
shit.
Zinc does not agree with S tier a little bit. Zinc says, I want to like this, but your main switch into water types is Starmie, which is quite embarrassing. Maybe you can out-offense them hard enough, but I'm not convinced right now. Lots of cool mons are featured here, but maybe there's a reason they're not often picked together. 4 out of 10.
Okay.
don't
I
know.
think this is
I think it's
alt
neat, but I don't think.
universe.
I think it's very flawed.
Yeah, it's alt universe Sharky King. Like this is very much like you replace Arrow with Mence, and I would think this is a Sharky draft.
Yeah.
That's true.
Null said Zinc spinning.
That's true.
Yeah, I do think that Zinc is right. Like having Kang and Starmie as your only real like water switches that are safe is kind of bad. I think A tier is like low A is probably fair. IMO.
Highest I'm willing to go is
Yeah.
low B. I'll be honest.
I
I like Wraxius's call on how it's like paired with a lax draft. This is cool. I also think it's A tier. I like it.
Okay, we're getting.
I-
This is like the most like disparity between your opinions so far, I think.
I'd say this is an S tier in the context of both drafts and a low A tier in the context of just itself.
Raxius, how would you respond to Zinc's concerns about like water types?
I think all of Zinc's concern and all of the like the defensive problems are all absolutely correct. That's why there's a Snorlax.
I don't think you'd see Wraxius disagreeing with Zinc anytime soon.
Fair.
Okay.
Um,
I
I-
would like to consider this is just like nuts because it got Salamence and Starmie, right? Reminder, this is silly.
Oh, yeah, kinda.
Yeah,
Yeah, there's
I
also
love
like Salmon Storm. That's 2 of the best Pokemon. Both are almost round 1 worthy.
Can
I
we
would
be
leave-
happy if this is like high B? Because that's kind of roughly the midpoint of some of the
I think
people who are
that's fair.
underwhelmed and others
Yeah.
who think this is like God's gift to Earth.
Yeah, I
Sure,
think I'm
accept
fine
it.
with that. Yeah.
Okay, we'll throw it there for now. And the final one, and now we'll be halfway done, gamers. My goat Null with I think this is one of the drafts that people were like, oh, I wonder who drafted this.
this is S tier. I'm just gonna say it. It's S tier.
I
Easy S tier.
agree. I could not agree more.
I highly disagree.
Okay.
I think this is a
This is one
low
of the
A.
most winning. This is one of the winningest drafts of all time. This draft has got it now first, and it got third, and it also basically got third again in ZTL2 when I drafted almost just a LARP of this exact team. It's something that is, I think, so proven at this point that you cannot say that it's not an S tier draft.
And have you considered it's
Mr.
about to get
Ness.
first place in this draft as well?
Exactly. See, now you get it.
That's something to keep in mind.
I got nothing against now, but all this glaze is making me hoping he goes 0-2 just to like feel like I'm
I don't think it's
right. I
even
don't know.
glazing. I
He's
just
already
think that
won
it's
one.
like,
He
you
can't go
look at
0-2
it,
though.
and it's just like, I don't think it's glazing when it's 1, like, and it just works. And he's
Even
talked
if
a
it
lot
is
about
gla-
how this is
Even
like
if
the
it is glazing, we
unsnipeable
should be
draft.
free to glaze.
He did type in the chat. He typed that it's unsnipeable. It's like the lowest
is.
minimum floor for Skarm. I do like that call. It has a lot of guys that no one else is really going for.
That's true.
Reason no one's going for D Knight.
There is a reason for this. There is a reason why no one wants D-Knight.
I got a whole doc to
Yeah.
prove it.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I like-
Martini's
I like
obsessed.
Sam.
A lot of Zink's
I think
opinions,
Alakazam's good.
and I will read them because I know Null is
Alakazam's good.
actually here and has agreed with a lot of Zink's assessments. I've probably seen Null draft this before letter for letter. Like the Secret draft, I'm pretty sure this is tried and proven. So any hating I can do is not backed up in practice. I think it's not bad, but defensively concerning. But again, I've seen it perform in practice, so I won't actually knock it for that. That being said, D Knight, 9th overall is surely a throw. It seems that was done solely in an effort to remake a draft he liked, rather than playing optimally, though I also know that Null doesn't like Skarn plus me on wheel, and I will still hold the opinion that he is wrong. Fair.
I can see A. I can't see S. I don't know.
I cannot agree with S. I can agree with A at least. I can agree with top of A at most.
River, what do you think?
Oh, it just has a bunch of guys I hate. Like, I hate Mischievous. That shit's so terrible. But it's like fine. It can go A.
Okay, we'll go A,
Yeah.
and for now, I guess we'll leave it behind Rivers because there's like one person gunning for S, and everybody else is like, I guess you can throw it in A.
Yeah.
And to me,
I
that's
think
I don't really care to have like too much of an opinion because it just looks soy to be like, yeah, I think it could go a little under mine. It's like, what are we doing here?
yeah, for sure. Even Null is saying it's not an S tier draft, and we are halfway through, gamers. Let's go. Aeonfa once more with Snorlax, with Vaporeon.
This is much better. This is much
Or
better.
drop.
than his own.
Aeonfa ran this to get second in ZTL 1 back in summer of 24. So this is technically, I mean, it's old tour, right? But it's technically got some like, got some wins under its belt.
Yeah, but like, what does unknown do?
Apparently,
Unknown
It
raises
gives
the,
it gives
uh,
5
price
points.
pool.
It adds
gives
$10. Yeah.
you win
It gives an
$10.
extra $10.
It raises the prize pool.
Oh yeah,
Oh.
$10 got added to the prize pool because somebody picked it.
Now, is
Good enough,
$10
that's close.
worth not taking like Pikachu or something? I kind of don't know, but that's okay.
Is Pikachu
I
a
respect
Honestly-
it and appreciate it.
It's love
Honestly,
of the
I
game.
think Pikachu is coming to exactly as many games as Unknown is, so like that's fair.
That's wild, by the way, but that's another
I
discussion.
disagree, but it's funny
Oh,
to say.
I love Pikachu.
I would like to highlight how grounded this is. There's 6 mons that are neutral to Earthquake and weak to spikes, and then there is a Mischievous. I do not like this.
It's the Tyros draft.
Yeah,
it really
It's
is.
Tyros draft. This is Dark.
Oh,
a reminder,
it really
the Dark
is.
Tyros
Oh my
draft.
God.
We put like D tier, and we went. This shit is garbage. It gets swept by Choice Band Donphan. It's not usable. So bear that in mind when ranking this one. Even though it is not
Yeah.
Dark Tyros, you gotta consider
Yeah.
the parallels.
The only thing that makes this not a Darth Tyrus draft is because there's a mon over like base 70 speed.
Which is also
That's
rare
good.
for Aeonfa, to be honest with you. But that's,
Also, having
I,
your second fastest be Mischievous just can't be right either. I don't know.
I've run
we're
those
not-
speed
we're
tiers
not rocking
before,
with
and
this.
it has worked. And I think that this team is bulky enough that it's okay. This is something that he is very comfortable piloting. I don't think I've ever seen him pick a lax draft that isn't slow as balls like this. So it's something that I think he will do well into. And I think the Cloyster via Plumissi is a really good, I guess, pick 5, 6, 7. Getting Cloy 5 is kind of rare anymore, it feels like,
True.
anyway. So I think it's something that I think it pairs nicely. Espeon kind of supports well. I think that he wishes it was a Zam, but that's, well, no, actually he didn't. He did want Espeon. Huh, that's interesting. But regardless, I think it's fine. And I think it's, I would personally go high B tier. That's just me.
High B.
I disagree.
I think others were-
This is the worst Snorlax draft, and by a significant margin. I think this
think
is
this
at
is
best
cool.
a mid C tier.
Really?
I was
Okay.
thinking, maybe I'm hating too much. I was thinking high D. I don't know. I don't like how grounded this is.
I hate how grounded it is. I hate Cloyster here. I don't think this is Cloyster in there at all. I hate the Espeon as like only fast Pokemon. Everything else is 70 speed or lower, except for Mischievous, which doesn't get to invest in speed, by the way. So it's basically
Yeah,
a
that's
base
cool.
50 speed.
Yeah,
mod.
that's fair.
Yeah.
It's worth
I
considering
think that this is miles ahead. The worst Snorlax draft in the tour. I don't think it's close. I'd put it in high C tier at best, and if it was up to me, I'd put it at the very bottom.
Woof.
My
don't
very
like
bottom of C?
Espeon is the only fast guy. That is not a Pokemon that's particularly immediately powerful. Psychic Stab is not the greatest. It can't
True.
equip a Choice Band, etc. So even that is speed. It's like if that's your one pace setting speed guy, that's not great.
Yeah.
I also really don't like it.
I'd put it at either bottom of C or top of D. One of those, probably.
That's I completely agree.
Like, do we really think it's better than like the Raikou like Poliwrath one?
No,
Oh,
I'm gonna say that just
No.
for my sake. No.
I agree. So this can go top of D under Raikou Poliwrath.
Okay.
Yay!
Yay.
We did it.
All right. We're back to Geronis, my op. Zapdos, Gengar,
Ooh.
Regirock, Glalie. Not as grounded.
It's got cool Pokemon. It's cool.
It's got Tentacruel.
Yeah. No,
Like,
yeah.
Spin.
This is a cool draft. I like it a lot. I think it pairs well. I think Giraffe Rig is kind of based. That's a cool Pokemon. I think
Yeah,
both
I
of you need
agree.
to use it. Especially with Zap, I think that it's got some heat going on there. But yeah, no, I think that this is A tier personally.
No. It gets belted by Raikou. It's not good, but it is cool. I like
Yeah.
it.
I don't think
That's
is
what
it that bad.
Zink pointed out.
Yeah, I guess.
Many of our contestants seem to have
The
forgotten about
T-Bone
the move
resistance
Thunderbolt, which is concerning.
Yeah.
yeah.
Takes belt. Many of
Boomerang-
us just take belt
Boomerang
to
out
ass
whack.
from Raikou.
Look, Giraffe Rig, low key, an electric resist. Okay,
Okay.
hear me out.
It kind of
Low genuinely.
Look. Early Bird CM is kind of stupid. If
It's
Kangaskhan
funny.
got any sort of like, if it got curse or bulk up, it would be an unkillable mon. I get that Giraffe Rig does not have quite the bulk that that you see in like Kangaskhan, but normal Psychic is a pretty honestly annoying type to build around because a lot of the
Yeah.
time you want to use like ghost coverage, and not being able to use ghost coverage to beat a Psychic type is really obnoxious.
Yeah, I think Giraffe Rig's awesome, and that's why I don't think it should be like D tier. However, it's super defensively bankrupt versus a lot.
Rock resist is
I don't know.
also like Marowak, Regirock, so I don't know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's not
Uh,
ideal.
Electric.
Most of the
Rock
other
kinda
drafts
own
haven't
it.
had this problem, so I haven't mentioned it to now. This one is really DD weak. Like, I'm sorry, a
true.
Salamence just
Yeah.
clicks
Yeah,
Dragon
that's
Dance
fair.
once, and everything at 90% or less HP dies.
Yeah,
It also
both
has
water
one
types get
phaser and
ripped
it's
by coverage.
Zapdos, which is not what you want to see.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like, I think you have to run physical defense, max bold physical defense Zapdos just to not lose to Salamence on lead.
Yeah.
I expect this draft to not come a lot because you just like look at the enemy team and go like, this is not a playable one. However, when it does come, I think it's gonna, I don't know, I think it'll be pretty fire. I think this draft's like, probably considering the fact that you only have to pick one per week, I think it's in the B tier. But if you had to use it all the time, it would probably be C.
Does anybody
Yeah, I
else feel
think I
like it
agree
could
with
go as
that.
high as B?
I
I'd
think it's better than
say,
gangs.
I'd say it's
Mm,
worse enough by gangs that I would put it at top of C tier above CG12.
I'm looking,
I would go
I'm
B,
thinking
but that's just
top
me.
of C. Top of C, low B. I'm fine.
Top
with
of C,
either.
low B. Since the B tier has more in it, we'll do top of C for now. And if C gets big enough,
Sure.
we can overflow top of C to bottom of B and vice versa. Okay.
That's fair.
Violet River, and I'd like to start off with Zink because she seems like elated and just like cathartic. Thank God. A meta / special wall / fast spike abuser draft with spikes. Finally.
Okay, let's not get ahead of ourselves here. It's Roselia. All right.
It is
So-
Roselia.
True. That's fair. She gave it an 8 out of 10, which is I think tied for her highest assessment so far.
Wait, how many good rankings has Zink given?
I'm
Like
gonna
maybe 3 or
skim.
4.
Yeah.
Zink is
Be like-
notoriously Zink is a
He's hard to
very
please.
big hater. I think. I think yeah.
Zink
gay
is very
hater.
strict.
Be fair, a
Um,
lot. Some
She
of
gave
these
a
drafts,
7
like,
out of
deserve it.
10 and one other 8 out of 10. And the other 8 out of 10 was the first River draft. So maybe she's just a River stan.
my God.
This is known, but I don't think that this is unfair at in this exact moment. This is a good draft. Like, it is a good draft.
Damn.
I don't
River, how do
think
you
Zink
feel
is
right now?
known-
Oh, I think this one's pretty good. It was kind of hard to do because, like, Oh, it's kind of hard not to make this shit ass. And I was looking at it going like, we have to get Roselia. By like third pick, I'm like, we gotta get Roselia, man.
And we did. We really did.
But
The double Slow King is
Given
kind of cool. I like that. But
yeah, I
That's
really
hype.
like Slow King. I think that one's so underpriced. It's so good.
it is a good guy.
True.
Yeah, I like it. I think it's pretty good. Yeah.
Null is thinking. I will
Oh.
say.
Oh.
I'm
Oh,
excited.
I'm the knowledge.
Well, now I was thinking, I'll get it. My thoughts about. I think that this is one of the few meta era drafts that can function. I think it is defensively coherent, but it just got a really bad spiker. River has explained to me about how she thinks the Roselia is supported well enough to get down spikes, and I think I agree enough to the point of versus a spike week draft. I think that this is a very good enough into them. And I think in the context of her other draft, for being good into Skarmory, for being good into spikes in general, I think this is a very serviceable draft.
Null says
thing I
dire
really
fire
like
matchup
about it-
though, which
Oh, that's not true.
Is-
There's a Slow King.
there's an entire
What
Slow
is-
King, I suppose. There's one.
Yeah, Slow
Look,
King
man.
was
There's
Yeah.
it's that and Arrow, but like you're gonna get toxic and stuff. I ran Resto.
Also,
Testo
Arrow's getting burned on
into-
the first Fire Blast switch, like every time, right? Like it just always happens. So,
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah, no, there's,
Well, that's
there's a
an
couple of
occurrence.
worlds where fire types are scary.
Neat thing that makes Roselia like actually potentially better than like a Hafty or like one of the more expensive spikers here is it does just like spike for free on the waters that sort of that want to be switching in on Metagross.
Yep, Roselia works very well with Metagross and Aerodactyl. I really like that synergy. I think Regice would have.
Like, especially
I think if the
Milotic is big
Haunter
one.
wasn't a Hunter and the Roselia was a Quillfish, this might be better.
Oh my
but
God.
I can't say that
Okay.
for certain right now.
We've hit our,
well,
our
Quillfish
quota
was
for
actually unavailable
Quillfish.
at this point.
Yeah,
This is
I
the
wouldn't have
one
had the
where we can
points.
say that Quillfish would have been better, but it would have actually been. It was taken way earlier by Sharky.
Oh,
So-
Quillfish is
That's
9,
so.
right? Quillfish is
Uh,
9.
it's
and
8.
Roselia
It's 8
Haunter's
points.
9.
Yeah.
Oh, shit, you're right. Quillfish could have came.
Could have went Quillfish unknown.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Do we? Is this
Damn.
our favorite, or is it?
I don't think it's.
I
I think-
give it A tier in the context of I think it's better enough by Sleepy's draft that I would put it in A tier.
Oh yeah, I agree. This is better than Sleepy's draft.
Is it better than
Hell yeah.
Null's Skarm D Knight Alakazam?
I think it's worse than Nal's Scars Unite. Yeah, but I think it's better than Sleepy's Salamence stuff.
Yo, someone give us an S.
We're working on it.
What's coming?
Draft better.
Just give it a sec.
All right. Is
There's one
Spreak-
draft that's coming
is
up
this
that
an
I
S?
think is an easy S.
This is
Um,
another like
this is,
Harper
I think,
Fori.
probably. Oh God.
Zinc does not
Tarpert
think
40
so.
is such an easy start, but it's kind of awkward going from there.
Gotta
Like,
Clean it up.
yeah. It's really awkward.
Scraff saying,
That's all I can say.
"Oh my! I played 4 games of League and it's still on Ash. You are Warriors. This is taking a lot longer than I thought. I told my girlfriend I was going to be streaming for 90 minutes, and we are beyond 90 minutes, which is not like the biggest issue in the world.
Blind.
I would
You
like
failed
us
to
to
factor
keep.
in draft play are all yappers.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're definitely yapping. It's a good time. We're yapping.
It's a fun format, lots to talk about.
There's
Yeah.
just so much. I mean, we could have spent like
Hey, this adoption
twice as long.
this
on
adoption
everything.
center is kind of cool.
I like the Golduck alongside the sand. Very cool and chill.
Yes.
Zinc
Oh,
doesn't love
fun
this.
combo.
There are some cool ideas here, but it's another fortress without proper support. Also, Articuno is here, and that's weird. I don't think it doesn't do anything too valuable. Going to rate it the same as the other draft that I found underwhelming for the same reasons. Weezing plus Venu is cool with Tar, but that core just means more special targets once Tar is chipped. This team may be soloed by Blaziken since Sam can't switch in, not sure. 4 out of 10.
Oh,
It's the rare matchup that where you auto lose to Charizard, and that's insane.
Yeah. I mean, it's like the
Yeah.
other one, right? Like I said this about CG12s. It's like, you know, with your you really want that like mixed wall. And this one, Articuno does not a mixed wall make.
True.
Yeah, I think it has
Um,
really cool offensive ideas. I just don't think it holds up defensively like many
there's
Tar
a-
drafts.
it's
It
Better
falls
than,
into the
it's
cover
better than
of
the other
flaws.
one.
Yeah, it's definitely better than the other one. I'd probably put it.
When we say the other one, we mean
Oh,
the
no.
other Tar Pert Fori draft, the CG12
Yeah,
one.
CG12's fun, yeah.
So it's
I
it's
don't
better
like
than that.
Weezing.
Are we top of C or bottom of B vibes?
I think it's like lower middle of B.
Mid B.
I would say it's mid B. Yeah, I don't think it's bad, like, in any stretch.
Do we put it ahead of the Seeker Mono Boom and behind the JBL?
I think that's fair.
champ.
I think that's a fair
Yeah.
placement. Yeah.
I want to move it one place to the right. I think that people have seen
I
this
agree.
draft fail before.
Okay.
I think it's not, but I think it might even be worse than the Among Us Blaster. So I think having it be 1 in front is like good there.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
We can be happy with that.
Sure.
All right. And we've got 12 left, gamers. I think that means we're about 2/3
Well-
of the way through.
Oh,
Um,
yay.
Pocket with Raiko, Guerra, Miltank, Maldo, Medi.
This is a weird team.
There's a wish
I think
cache.
this team sucks so
Wishcash
bad.
is like
Why is
draft
Wishcash but why is Wishcash the only physical answer that you have for any? Like why?
Yeah,
It's the
Miltank.
only. No, come
Doesn't
on. What are we
anyone
doing
know
here?
if Pocket like got a whiz catch that knows spikes?
That's the thing. Raikou with no spikes makes me not like this at all. And I don't know what I think Umbreon is like one of the worst defenders on this team. It isn't doing anything.
Yeah, I'm like a Pocket hater. This team gives me a reason to hate on Pocket.
my God.
It's like,
Oh my god.
For Pocket.
Specifically his drafts, right?
no, I just don't like how he plays.
I think that
Oh, okay.
The-
All right.
the first five
She's
picks have
still
so
mad.
much aura, but it's just like it just kind of feels like the last 3 picks are half-assed. I know that Pocket is a Umbreon enjoyer, but I don't think that it's. I don't know. It was kind of hyped to see Blossom be low-key the MVP of the game against Spreak earlier, but I think
Goodbye.
Blossom is. But it is. I just think that Blossom is one of the worst Pokemon in the format. So it's just
Oh.
it's kind of insane.
I like it. It's a ground resist, and the team would otherwise be really
No,
bad to ground.
no.
I like Blossom.
It's worse Meganium. Like I feel like people take Blossom thinking that it has aromatherapy because why wouldn't it? And then they realize that it doesn't, and then they're just disappointed, and it sits in their builder forever, and they don't touch it.
I'm sorry, I
It's
think
kinda
that's
better.
just
It gets
you.
stun
That's
spore.
just you.
It
Oh
gets
my
stun
God.
spore. I think it's actually better than Meganium in some
Yeah.
ways.
I
I
you
actually
know
like
what? I
Blossom
hate
a lot.
Meganium so
Powder.
much. I don't even disagree with you. Meganium is ass.
Like-
Like it's not even.
Mega-
Holy
Meganium
shit.
doesn't get powders. It doesn't get sleep or
Guys,
stun, and Elizabeth's really good.
Okay, well, the draft itself.
I
think
like
that-
the
Yes, I'm
graphs
sorry.
analysis here, but you
Yes,
guys are
I'm sorry.
completely ignoring the fact that the CB Mence switch in is Raikou.
Oh yeah,
That's
yeah.
weird.
yeah.
There's no
It's
all
flyer
there.
check on this team other than Raikou.
Zing
Gold-
points
Gold
out that
Umbreon?
we're weak into normals and Dragon Dancers. The normal resist is an Armaldo, who is not mega reliable.
That's okay.
5
He's
out
an
of 10.
okay normal resist, but Dragon Dancers, you're right. Just like physical guys and stuff.
What are,
Yeah, I
what's
think
our
it's kind of
vibe?
ass. Because like
Holy
defensively
shit,
you die to
it's
stuff,
the-
right? But then like offensively you don't have spikes, so you don't like beat things. So it's just
It's
it's
the
Yeah.
just
D Knight
bad.
Dream matchup. This draft makes D Knight look like a usable Pokemon. Oh my god.
Martini,
Yeah,
Yeah.
C tier.
I think I'd put it above Ayanfa and below Fortes in D tier.
I think that's fair.
Yeah, it's below Forte's for sure.
Okay.
The other one's better.
Yeah.
I think it's quite a bit below actually. I think Forte's is a lot better.
Thank you.
Okay,
You know,
so are
this
we-
is what I.
Forte,
this is the respect I
Forte
needed.
Maybe move to
I
C.
think this is an opportunity to move some stuff around. I think that I would put Violet River's Snorlax draft in S in context of everything else that's happened, and I'd
I'd move
probably move
Forte's draft to
Sleepy's
C.
draft up a tier as well.
I
Okay.
like that. Shout out Sleepy. That one's tough.
Yeah. I think that's fair.
Okay.
Yeah,
I think
so,
Forte
too.
can go up a little bit.
Yeah, I think everything else
I-
is
I
fair
think-
more.
I've warmed to the Raikou cloister because I've seen a lot of Raikous without the spikes. I think it can go up a little bit.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Forte can move up to bottom C as well. I wasn't like strong on that.
I think it can move up another like 2 or 3 actually. I think it can go above Geronimo.
Oh, look at that.
Woo!
Whoa.
Woo!
Okay.
In
So that
VC
goes there.
buff.
Other people
VC
may
buff.
disagree, right? But
No, I don't. I
I-
think that's. I mean, why stop there, right? I mean, like Clerg.
Oh well, I don't know about.
Okay.
We can
All right,
maybe
all right.
stop there.
We'll
Okay.
all right. We're on JBL. Our guy.
JBL's Salamence draft.
Oh God, this draft.
Mence
I
Bliss
think this is
Milo.
another draft we should look at in the context of his Tart draft.
Yeah.
Because
Maybe. I mean, I thought we said at the start we were just gonna like discuss them in a vacuum. So I don't know if that's like.
I'd say
I
that's
don't
close
think
enough
you're.
to in a
I
vacuum.
don't think you're up against Uranus for seasonals. I have the message of you saying who you were up against, and I can send you that.
Yeah,
What do
I
you-
think that.
What are you talking about?
The problem with Men's Bliss is that it is impossible to create a draft that is proactive in any way from there, because you definitely want a bulky water. So if Milotic's available, you get Milotic, but then the team just moves at a glacier pace, and it just doesn't make progress. There's very little damage here, like immediate damage at the very least. Sceptile is notoriously ass. Terrible Pokemon. I hate that guy.
Facts.
Oh,
That's facts.
Okay.
Soul Rock,
Alright,
Soul Rock
let's chill.
5 is Soul Rock 5 as the, let's be honest, the really the only normal resist, because Kabutops is the only other one, I think is not a great call when there were other options I think available at the time. I can tell he probably was hoping that Armaldo would make it back. Pocket taking Armaldo pick 4, I think probably put a big wrench on this team. I think Armaldo would have done really well here on pick
Right.
5. And so I think that it struggles a lot just because I think that this had a plan and it kind of crumbled. And
I think-
this is the effect. And I don't think it
It's-
is especially good.
This needs spikes really badly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's no
Yeah.
Sceptile, no spikes is awful. I will like throw my hat in the ring and say Sceptile's not as bad as everyone says. I've used it a bit. I like it, but this needed spikes. It's not really making any progress otherwise.
I
Damn.
think Zink said everything there is to say about this draft.
This team wanted
hey, look,
Foy
we're
really
talking
badly,
to-
but got the Blissey round 3 instead of settling for Chansey later. I've seen this team like 8 times after Tykar got
Yeah.
stuck into 4 mirror matchups in a row. They all had Foy holding it together. Without that, there's too little these guys can do on their own, and Sceptile becomes nothing but extremely expensive speed control. Okay, where are we feeling in C or D for this then?
I think mid D. I'm not gonna lie. Like I love.
Agreed.
Let's split up the pockets, because Pocket was back-to-back in D, and then maybe that'll make him feel a bit better. I don't know.
I think that's
Yeah.
fair. I think this is good.
Also,
Yeah, I think I
yeah,
think
go ahead.
JBL's other draft is like just miles better than this one. I like it's going to be hard to ever bring this one, I think, and that really kind of hurts. But
quick correction. Real quick. Earlier, I said I was playing Geronis in Winter Seasonal. I'm not at all. I'm playing Janice. I got them mixed up.
Oh, that
see,
guy's
that's much
pretty
worse.
good.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, see, that's it.
Okay,
Yeah, you
no,
hear
it's your
Janice
fault.
and you're like, oh yeah,
Your
Janice is
fault.
gonna fucking own sets. Totally.
Wait, let me spitball some straight knowledge. So I beat Giannis in Mushi League.
Let's do
and
this
I'm pretty
later.
sure you beat me in Mug Cup, so you got this.
Okay. All right. Good to know. Good to know. Good to know.
I would like to
Power scaling is
also say in the context of JBL's other draft, he took Gyarados and Salamence, and he has 0 matchup division between his 2 drafts, I think. I think his 2 drafts have the exact same favored matchup, but one of them is way better at actually doing that.
Among Us Blaster in the chat saying ADV Draft Tua. Welcome. Thank you for participating. We appreciate that contribution. Null. My goat with I mean this is just SS plus, right? Do we need to discuss this one?
Oh my
I
god.
think so.
I went over this in my Celebi Thera manifesto as well. I think that Celebi stall, maybe he'll change my mind and I'll think differently. I think this is a horrid form of Celebi stall. I think this is garbage.
Garbage.
I would go so
I don't
far as
know.
to say that both of Volta's drafts are better than this.
Whoa.
I-
I looked at
okay.
Volta's other draft. You're hating.
So this draft I think is really interesting because I don't know. I'm trying to wash the taste out of my mouth of that game that he played.
Oh,
last
that was
week,
sick. That was
which
cinema.
was something. It was a game.
That hurt.
It was-
I
oh.
don't know. That hurt to watch. Seeing that like Hitmon top get a spin off to like extend the game 100 turns.
That
made me,
was-
like, die a little.
Oh
That
my
sucked.
God.
That
Oh
was
my
no,
God.
that was not fun. But no,
That
that
game
was
gave me
so
heartburn.
fun to watch.
It was a very entertaining game, but for all the wrong reasons. It hurt.
It was like
But,
a car
I mean,
crash happening in slow motion for 2 hours.
It really was. I do think this team has some legs. I like Skarm B is a good combo. They pair together very well defensively.
Mhm.
I think this Arcanine I think is a little odd. I think they could have gone with maybe something else like a cheaper fire. I think the Flareon would have done the same job that Arcanine's doing. I'm not gonna lie to you. And
Oh,
like,
that's just wrong. Arcanine is here for Heracross.
oh, so
Right?
true.
Crazy to think that like this team. I thought while this was drafting, I thought this was gonna be like one of the worst teams. I've kind of like sort of lightened up to it a bit. I think Rhydon really makes this team not terrible.
So this is a case of Celebi stall when you could be seeing something so much more interesting, and I think that this isn't an interesting way of making Celebi stall work. I think that the Arcanine is forced and bad. I think the Chansey is forced and bad. I think it's
Whoa.
extremely passive. It's extremely over reliant on Rhydon and Dugtrio to do everything. So a Salamence just destroys this.
Dude, once Null wins this shit, like that is gonna be playing in the background of like the highlight reel. What you just did.
That's so true.
You're gonna be on the clips.
Yeah, I think. No,
Now
but
says it's his magnum opus. So I mean,
yeah, I think Zapdos. I think Salamence. I think what else? I think Moltres is really good into this. I think Flygon's really good into this.
All right, Zinc says.
That's not good when you think
it's
that
worth
Flygon is
mentioning.
good into
The
it.
only ground immune is Skarmory. That's worth mentioning. Otherwise, it's kind of rough into ground.
Hey, Shedinja's
true.
technically a
Shedinja's
ground
technically
immune, hear me out.
EQ.
Let's
Yeah,
not
it's
act
a
like
rock slide.
Shedinja's seeing play. Like, let's not
That as well.
let's not be silly now.
I think
It's
Shedinja's
not
also
coming.
terrible here. I think you should be spamming Toxic into this team.
Ooh, that's
Yeah,
true.
that's fair.
Oh yeah, this is very
Yeah,
status.
Chansey
Okay.
is your
Top
cleric. And B, but I mean, like, Chansey is such a, quite honestly, terrible Pokemon. Like, it gets abused by so much stuff. And, like, Mons that are decent at stalling this team out are going to be able to just bully the hell out of Chansey. And that makes me worried. I don't know.
Yes, I think it's just a case of you're forced into very specific options based on your first four, which end up creating a very, I think, passive draft that is over reliant on very specific pieces that are one of them's extremely frail, and the other one has multiple exploitable weaknesses.
The case of
I think
Can
this
you
is about
count?
as
into this team.
Can you count Shedinja as a ground immune? Because it is, right? So I mean,
Of course.
therefore, so
I
Yeah.
don't think we
Oh.
can because of how
Discount
easy it is to
Shedinja
click.
to your own peril. At your own peril. That's
That's
all
fair.
I'll say.
I'm willing to be to put away my bias and say that this sucks and say that it's like B tier. I'm
I'm
willing
willing to put away my bias and say that this sucks. Freudian slip there.
This is, I genuinely.
All right,
This is the
this is
best
one
form
where
of a
I want
terrible-
everybody to give a letter, starting from the top. Nephew, give me a letter.
Mid B.
Forte.
high C.
Whoa, okay. Martini.
I'm gonna be a fence sitter, low B, high C.
Okay. River.
I see.
High C. Okay. Rax.
I think
D.
maybe Lippy actually. I'm also Martini. I'm Chuddy.
Yeah, fence sitter gang.
We're on the fence. Rax, you're basically the tiebreaker here.
I think D tier. So
Oh, so that's
I guess I'll put
gonna
it
cement
opposite.
it in high C for now.
Yeah.
Are we gonna consider pushing the Aonfa down to D, where C is getting a little
I don't
thick?
think that's a D tier draft.
Not a
uh,
D tier draft.
It's got
Okay.
problems.
That's
but it's
just on paper. I don't think that I look at that and think that's D tier. Like in any world,
Just-
you know.
Based on the
One
first
quality
pick, it
is
just
too
can't
high.
be. It's so broken.
I think I would
Yeah.
rather move Sharky King up, just on the basis that it's Sharky King.
Move him up where? Wait, you
Uh,
mean his Emerald 6 draft? Really?
Yes. Yes, I think that I think on the basis that it's Sharky King playing it, I think that can be a low.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get it. I mean, he's done well with this exact draft like 5 times. So
Well,
yeah.
All right.
speaking of Sharky King,
Speaking of,
next draft.
here's Sharky King. After this, we'll have 8 remaining. Let's try to pound these out. Me, D Knight, Jolt, Machamp. Quillfish finally making a goddamn appearance.
Yep.
Hell yeah.
This one's kind of tough. It's B tier at least.
Honestly, I would put this bottom of B tier with his other one.
I
Nah,
don't
it's
know if
better.
we can put a B tier. This draft like really sucks into EQ.
I'm pretty sure Sharky King has used this exact draft before. It's like same exact thing. That's my
It sucks.
justification for it.
You just like can't switch into CVEQ on this team.
So we're thinking somewhere near his other one. Maybe
I'd say it's
do we
right
like
next
this?
to his other one personally.
Do we like it more or less than his other one?
more doesn't have a mischievous. It's instantly better.
Oh
Even
my
if it does
god.
with a D-Knight.
All All right, maybe
Oh,
we'll
you
put
aren't
him.
ready for your draft, Forte. I assure you.
I know. I've been waiting for this draft to talk about
I kind of
mine
liked.
all day.
I kind of liked Forte's.
The second one?
Yeah, I'm not gonna call it names. I thought the first one was worse.
We'll get there.
That's fair.
Okay.
We're so close to it, and we've got 8 left. This is
Yes.
the last Lax draft of the stream. Sleepy with Lax, Gyarados, Regirock, Umbreon, Sam.
Is this the only Lax Gyarados draft?
I believe so. Yes, I believe all the other ones got sniped.
That's awesome. Very good. I hate that. Lax Gyarados for non-ball knowers is like a very standard opening, and it just is something that they just work perfectly together, and I think it's really boring. I really thought this was potentially Seeker just because I know how much he really values Regirock, but also like you look at what was taken before, and I mean like Registeel and Regice might have both worked better, but that was kind of like what was left. So that being said, I think this is like the Snorlax draft of all time. It's also the sleepy Snorlax draft of all time. So I think for that it's got to be A tier.
It has
Austrian
Umbreon, and that's
George
bad,
Draft,
but then it has a bunch of cool Pokemon, so it's good. I like Zam, I like Nidoqueen, I like Torkoal, so it's like, I don't know. Cool.
It's got
Umbreon's
unemployed
bad,
though.
chuds, and then a bunch of not, and then a bunch of employed not chuds.
Yeah,
I was really
it's-
surprised by this because like Sleepy kind of took a bit of a like break after. Were they in Rev Draft? They didn't play in ZTL, and this like
No, I don't. Well, yeah, no, they were in Rev Draft, but I think they crashed out
Yeah, they,
pretty
like-
early.
They like lost
It
to
is, like-
someone.
Gotcha. Yeah. So like this Lax Rock Umbreon Zam, like the Umbreon Zam sort of adaptation was like something George used to. I think he was King of Swifts. I think he didn't drop a single game.
Yeah.
So it was very surprising that this was a sleepy draft considering how like new of a development that sort of was, or new of an idea. I wonder. I don't really jive with this, but I wonder if this is like one of those things where it's like Austrian George can play this and he's really good, or if this is like a this anyone can pick this up and like instantly, like anyone can. Yeah, I guess what I'm trying to say is like I don't know if this is like
Anyone can cook.
one guy's play style or if this is like super like secret heat tech, you know.
I mean, the fact that this is already
mess it
like
up.
gone like what 7-0 in ZTL 3, I think that's good enough for me to stay bottom of S tier. Honestly,
Oh, we're feeling
Really?
that way.
I think this.
Shit, okay.
Gotcha.
Is anybody thinking
I
there's
think-
no shot we can put this in S?
I just remember you were like quite adamant. You were like, you know what, River is the best Snorlax draft.
I can think 2 people have a really good Snorlax draft. Just one of them is better.
I like this more than the
Uh,
River Draft, but I also wouldn't
that's
have put the
crazy.
River Draft into S tier personally.
So
But
you would have
that's-
this as the only S tier so far.
Wow.
If I had my way, yes.
Mm.
But that's just
That's a
I
fun
know
take.
that part of that is bias, absolutely. But I'm
Okay.
yeah,
So what-
I can
yeah.
see both being in S.
So what I need
potentially.
now with no river vote is for everybody to vote on which of these is going to be higher in S. Starting with Forte,
I would personally put the Sleepy one higher, but that's again just me.
Martini.
No, yeah, you're allowed.
I like the river one more.
Okay. And nephew, you and I are recusing ourselves because we're non-ball knowers. Wraxius, you're the tiebreaker.
I think River's draft is better.
Okay. River will stay at number 1 for now. Sleepy in the number 2 position. And Seeker here with the Zap, Registeel, Yama, Blastoise, Glalie 5th. I want to give Zinc the floor because this is so far and possibly of all of the drafts her highest rating. Round 5 Glalie in 2026 Lamau. Seeker mostly capitalizes on it. Though those back 3 mons aren't perfect, they'll be pretty good per matchup. I think you always bring the top 5 mons and are not really sad about it either. They're super good. Standard first 3 picks. Donated round 4/5 picks that are amazing. Solid back 3 but not perfect IMO. Just good, still amazing, not much else to say. 9 out of 10. This is her highest rating that we've seen. I don't expect to see a 10 out of 10 from her. What do you guys think?
I think this is the best draft in the tour.
Yeah.
Yeah, this looks
don't
like
think-
this looks good. This looks good. This looks good.
I don't think
Uh,
it's especially close, to be honest with you. I mean, it's like Hariyama patches up a bit of the, like, I don't know, Registeel and Glalie and Jinx and Jumpluff are all Fire Weak, but I mean, Hariyama helps, Blastoise helps, even Rhydon can switch into it if he needs to. Like, it's not an unsurmountable problem, but it is still fairly fire weak. That's like the only real flaw that I can see. It's other than that, I think really, really good.
Yeah, as an advisor, I'd like to say that if I had my way, that Jinx was a Grumpig instead, and I think this draft is perfect.
I think getting Blastoise and Glalie on your Zapyama Registeel draft 4 or 5 is like probably better than winning the lottery. I don't know how the hell you manage that, but
Yeah, that's
you just have to
really
be
hard.
Are we
Yeah, I
sliding
don't
at the
know what
next?
It's like
anyone
we
else
talk
is
about
doing.
we talk about like 3 Mon cores that like, and then you sort of flex the rest. But this is a draft where you have a 5 Mon core. I don't think there's really
Yeah.
that many like drafts that have 5 extremely good auto bring Mons that aren't like. You have drafts where you have 5 auto bring Mons because the last 3 suck. And this has.
Yeah.
This is just so
Cornell isn't
crazy
able to
have.
comment.
Yeah,
Now,
Null
just
said
give a do or do not for how much you like this draft.
they have thoughts, alas, they cannot speak. I'm guessing this is the team that they're facing this weekend then.
He is indeed.
That is going to be must-see fucking TV, and I am going to do everything in my power to stream that live. It's going to be a rematch for them. They've played twice before. Null told me that they are 1-1. And some are saying the winner of this set could be of the favorites to win the entire tournament. So that's going to be hype as fuck.
I think that's
I-
fair. I mean, or at the
Pretty
very least,
objectively,
they're
right.
yeah.
I
I
think
think
the
I
winner
think
of
whoever
this match-
loses is probably still a favorite to win the tournament, right? Like,
Yeah.
Fair.
I think
could have been
whoever
finals.
wins this, yeah, I think whoever wins this game will probably go on to winners finals.
This shit is so hype. I'm so
At
glad I
least
started
winners
tuning
finals,
into this shit.
if not winner side grand finals. Like I think this is a very good. God, this draft is so good.
If you're watching this stream, sub. We're gonna. I don't know when they're playing. Null, if you're here, can you drop the day? It's sometime this weekend.
It's 1 p.m. Sunday -5.
Okay, nice.
holy, be
That's-
there, be square.
It's gonna be Sunday morning for
Like-
me, 10 a.m. Pacific time. But we're gonna be streaming that shit.
Like
gonna
the
be my
stream,
5 in the
subscribe
morning.
to that, and Scraff is a go.
That's facts.
Yeah, I think there's just a lot of really good ideas. There's nothing weak about it. It has everything covered.
I
don't think it leverages
I
the
have
Hariyama
one-
perfectly, but there's only so much you can do.
yeah.
Yeah.
There we go. That's my like only critique. It's that like Hariyama wants to like be breaking, but there's no like fast physical guy that really cares about Hariyama like chipping stuff. That's like my only grievance.
Okay.
But I think it's pretty good. It has
I
lots
think
of good
it's
Pokemon.
fine. Yeah, I think it's fine in the context that Hariyama here is mainly meant to abuse blobs for Zapdos. So like it just like isn't
Yeah.
punished. It's Baton
It's
Pass
gonna
to
be clicking
Hariyama.
like knockoff and shit. Like
Right.
it's gonna be clicking focus punch, and that's fine. It'll be good.
Yeah, those are the two best moves in the game.
Oh, hey, look, Forte has a Grumpig.
Look at that. Imagine.
That's so true. Here we
Okay.
are. We've made
Okay,
it to
here's-
Forte.
All
Okay,
right,
so
Forte,
I-
give your best
I-
defense, buddy.
Oh, okay. So I'm gonna just
Right.
say that I
The prosecutor calls Forte up to the stand. The mistress.
okay. Look,
You
the
were caught
mischievous.
in the billiards room with the mischievous.
Okay, so Metagross, Regice, Swampert. I haven't seen that core a ton before. It feels very cool. I wanted to really like kind of center this on Metagross and Moltres, which I think have incredible synergy, and Swampert only kind of helps add to that because they just kind of pivot for each other forever. It's the two best rock resist in the game. So, I mean, it's just kind of like a no-brainer to add Moltres into that. And Regice also appreciates the rock resist as well. The thing about the Mischievous... Okay, so I knew that I wanted Moltres, and I knew that I wanted Mischievous because I had plans for Smeargle at some point. I didn't want Glalie because I didn't want to overdo the Fire Week aspect of having Metagross, Regice, and Glalie all be weak to Fire. I had plans for Grumpig eventually as well, but Moltres and Grumpig as the only two, like, fire resists just did not feel... Because Swampert is a fire resist, but it also, like, a lot of fire types can fit the grass coverage that it just doesn't quite feel safe. So I decided against that. And the Mischievous at pick 4 was just because I looked at what was on the table and what Seeker and Sleepy had at the time, and I thought that there was a much higher chance, because I didn't know that Seeker was Seeker. I thought it could very well have been Aonfa at that point, and it was something that Yeah, Aeonfa is another known Mischievous enjoyer, and so at that point, I'm like, okay, I can play it safe and take Mischievous early. I'm gonna look stupid because, yeah, objectively, it's kind of dumb. But when you don't know who the people are and what their preferences are, then it kind of just felt like Mischievous was much more likely to get sniped than Moltres. And if Moltres was for whatever reason taken, then Zard was there in the back, and I could have made it work with the points that I had remaining if I had to take Zard instead of Moltres. So it is something that I think worked out remotely well. I like Smeargle here. I think it works pretty well. I would have ideally had Cloister or something, which, I mean, is not really any better on the fire resist side, of course. I mean, it's neutral, but it might as well be weak. So it's hard to say. But my goat Grumpig is there, of course. There was a line that we had built out that had Alakazam instead of Grumpig, which I think objectively is probably better, but I could not betray my morals and not bring Grumpig at least one time. So, yeah, that's that.
Okay.
I have names to call this draft, but I want to hear Zink's thought first.
Zink says, I'm so confused. Is that a Fearow
Yep.
as our fastest Mon? Metagross Moltres could steal a game, I guess, but man, that is a Mischievous fourth. I think the team is less terrible than you would assume at first glance, but it is still going to crumble into the right DD Mon, probably Grass DD Tar. This team is a head scratcher, but not horribly offensive. Just probably ass into mixed attackers and pretty slow, which to be fair, are still not forgivable. So I give it a low rating. It's probably not good, 3 out of 10.
I'd like to raise a question. If Glalie wasn't taken because Glalie's too fire weak, is Smeargle a lot better?
No, however, Type Chart Andy in me just felt terrible about it. And also, I just like that Smeargle being a Heal Bell user for Mischievous, it just felt very nice because I know that Missy likes to run. I've run Missy a lot. I'm not as much of a Blazer as, like, you know, you see like Nal and Aeonfa being, but like I do think it's a decent Mon at what it does. And I think that it becomes probably 5 times better if it can run Rest with a Cleric in the back. So having that on Beagle just felt better. I spent a long time thinking about my pick 4, just because we were kind of struggling to think the direction that we wanted to go, because some of the options that we were thinking about were taken a little earlier than we were hoping for. So it was a tough one, but I think that Beagle providing specifically Cleric support makes it a better pick objectively than Glalie. It's at least for this team. I know that Glalie obviously is better as a whole, but I think that Beagle is pretty underexplored too. So it was something that felt interesting, and I was kind of just excited about the idea of getting perhaps the least employed draft of all time, and
Beagle's cool.
here it is.
This draft isn't completely terrible. Somewhere in C tier.
Hey, Forte, when you were talking about Heal Bell Beagle, you just made an original sentence. Congratulations, you've innovated the English language.
It's a good set.
That's not true.
It's not like good, maybe, but it's not terrible.
I can't remember what game I was watching earlier in this tournament, and I called. Who was it?
Was it mine?
Forte just used it this week.
I might have been your match, and I was like, wait for the Heal Bell Smeargle, and it was a Heal Bell Smeargle, and I couldn't tell how obvious it was or whether I should like feel good about myself, but I fucking called it one way or another.
Yeah.
Okay, C tier.
Yeah, I had to fit Heal Bell that game. It was tough, but yeah, I think C tier is probably fair
Does
for
the
this.
prosecution
I
have any other questions for Forte at this time?
Forte, I feel like you want to bench 4 Pokemon every game with this team.
I kind of do. It's weird. Like, I
No,
don't
honestly,
know how
this team is better if you like cut everything below Metagross. Like, just run only a Gilligross meta, like by itself, so you can't be rolled.
it can't be
I think
rolled.
that's your
Yeah,
best game
that's a
plan
good-
with this team.
You
Just
know what?
hit your
Honestly,
mash raises.
True. I mean, some people, that's all you really need.
That's
right?
all you need.
So, pointing fingers.
Honestly,
level
yeah, no, like I
150
actually, I'm like
Coyotes
serious
You don't
about this now.
understand. Metagross, +2/+2, 600 attack, 400 speed. It's not beatable.
GG's. See, if I only could
GG's.
keep my block Beagle set, this would be S tier, right? But that's, as we discussed earlier, not,
Or it's,
it's illegal as hell. So
River's
Yeah,
so
no.
fucking
are keeping
BM.
you down.
Yeah,
Okay.
Forte, I'm like 100% certain. Next time you play with this team, you have to load 2 Pokemon total: Spikes, Memento, Smeargle, and Agility Metagross. That's it.
Did you
load
win that?
anything else you're throwing?
A ton of work here. Did I win? No, it was close. I mean, it was just like I remember looking in the builder and saying, I'm kind of really boned if they bring Fizbee, and I'm like, but they're not going to do that. It kind of just thuds into Pert, even though Pert looked terrible there. So I was like, oh, it's fine. I'm just not going to think about it. And then I got
they went ahead.
Then they brought SDB, and I'm like, all right, well, I can't really be mad about this. I knew going into it that there was a problem, and I just kind of let it happen.
All right, we got to move on. Where is this going, gang?
Mid-C.
In front of Aeonfa.
In front of Aeonfa and C, and that's it. But beneath
I think
Geronis.
that's- Yeah. Does anyone else
I like
disagree?
I like the other Forte draft more. Yeah,
Okay.
I can't vote for.
Not
5
tripping, or is nobody
left.
talking right now?
It's Clurd. It's another Celebi Milotic. Is this the third, fourth position
This is
Celebi
the third
Milotic?
Milo B.
Yeah, Milo B is so hot in the
People
fourth
can't do
position,
shit.
but they went with Arrow third.
And no
Every-
spikes.
Oh
which
yeah,
is
no, this
unforgivable.
was the Null Clurd rematch from Grand Finals of ZTL 3? Question mark.
Yeah.
Yeah, cinema, fucking cinema. What do we think about this, gang?
This needs
I wish it had a
spikes.
Vaporeon and a Quillfish.
Like,
Quillfish would have done
we're gonna
ungodly
bring up
work
Quillfish
here.
again. What
Like,
the fuck is
oh
the
my God.
spikes?
Can I give a
Also,
little brief
Quag is
spoiler?
not a real rock resist.
Zinc
Go ahead.
hates like
Yo, Zeph,
everything
I got
remaining. Pretty much.
disconnected for like 30 seconds.
Oh, this was. Oh, yeah. I think when we were watching this, watching the drafts, we're like, yeah. I think half. I think I said this. Half of Zinc Pool needs to be like DQ'd from next season. that was like.
She says this
I mean,
pool is a
it-
mess. I don't think this team is weak
it's
to
a mess.
anything. I'd like to know how it makes progress. It has arrow without spikes or sand. If your op falls asleep for 4 turns IRL, you can SD pass an arrow. I don't like this team, but I'll admit it doesn't lose to that much. It also just doesn't really have easy ways to win.
Yeah.
It just looks like a lot of sustain. Hope to God, Arrow can just like make progress. But
Kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, like,
Arrow's the
it-
cleanup guy,
it's-
not the progress guy.
they
It
just
looks
needed
like
to
a
not
Sharky
do.
King team.
No,
That's
Sharky
what I'll
King
say.
would have the self-respect to draft spikes on Arrow.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
Let's-
this looks just like if Sharky King like forgot to draft Glalie for some reason. Like that's what he would do. This is what he would make.
Okay, so we're not going above Sharky King because he did draft Arrow Glalie there. So it's at best going here. Question mark.
I think it's below his yeah, I think it's below his other draft. I'd put it above Forte, but below his other below his Gengar draft.
Okay.
Okay, I
Somewhere
don't
like
have
that.
like too strong of an opinion, but I would maybe put it below Forte's. 'Cause at least Forte has Raikou spikes.
Yeah, I'm looking at it more. I think I put it above his other draft.
I see.
Oh, you're saying you put
Oh, the-
this here, but then maybe move Forte above.
No.
Or-
I'm saying I put that draft below Geronis.
Okay,
the-
by that
the-
draft,
put it-
we're talking
Card
about
draft?
this. So this is going.
Yeah, I'm talking
Yeah.
about this draft.
Okay,
yeah, like
and then
about
we're
there.
putting
Yeah, like
this
that.
Clurd back in front of Forte.
Yeah, I think this is fair.
Alright.
Does anyone
Okay.
disagree with this? I think that's.
I think that's fine. Yeah.
4 remain.
Okay.
Gang with T-Tar, Gengar, Jolt.
We've seen this already. It's the exact same team. Look at that. Just swap
Okay,
Got
but
a
this
Mustache
one
for
has a
Hurt.
new
Champion.
problem.
Oh God, yeah, it definitely does.
Zinc says ew, and that's it. No, just kidding. She did put
Yeah.
additional things besides just ew. Given the rest of the draft, the Jolteon is completely useless. There are Spikes abusers, a speed check, a Corvinu Wish Cache to handle electrics, and a special wall. This means that 14 points went into the dumpster on round 3. Unforgivable. Even if I think the rest of the draft is serviceable, I wish this were the worst draft in this pool.
Yeah.
I love Zinc.
Oh my God. This is the reason why I couldn't load the Raikou team last week. I would have, but oh my God, look at that! Like
This
I
is
don't even
hot,
wanna
the
think
most
about
Raikou hostile draft of all time.
it. Right? Oh my God.
Hey, trust me, Raikou could cook there.
I don't think so.
The thing
Beth.
about
Rescue.
Jolteon, you can't even run like choice band Raikou in this, which I do think is real. Like you just run Dedge and HP ground and then it becomes a thing. But like it is not here. Like, oh my God, it's so bad. So
CB Raikou,
Yeah.
I'll believe it when I see it.
I think Nal ran it in a pools game in ZTL3. At the very least we were testing it, I remember. But regardless, yeah, I think this is a problem, and it should. Yeah, like Jolteon is totally useless here. I love Jolteon; it's a great Pokemon, but why is it like this? Could have been anything else. Like if you wanted the speed.
No, I think what it is that you have a Tyranitar, Gengar, Jolteon, Fortress is a fantastic sand offense spikes core.
Right. So
you
then
could have done something incredible, something like similar to Jolt Spikes in OU.
Yeah.
And then you draft Chansey.
Oh
yeah, that was like an interesting pivot, and then we're just
Chansey
getting
Chansey is definitely like a checkbox. Like you want a cleric, and that's
The
not
Jolt's only
right.
bad because of the Chansey. I agree with Wraxius. I think people are hating on the Jolt, but the Jolt came first.
Yeah, the
That's
Jolt
fair.
came first.
Right.
The Jolteon makes
think
sense.
so,
I
too.
think the first four are really good, really smart.
Yeah.
I think that the Venusaur is really good and really smart. I hate the Chansey, and I hate the Whiscash and Gligar that are forced because of the Chansey. If that
What
Whiscash
if-
was a
Go ahead.
I
I'm
think
sorry.
that if Whiscash was a Quagsire, you solve all of the problems you had.
What if Chansey and Venusaur were compressed into Vileplume, though? I think that would solve a lot.
No, you get Victory Bell in that case.
Well, I mean,
Holy.
I don't
God
know
plan.
about
Hubba.
that one, but yeah.
Like I think because the issue is that you cannot switch to Hydro Pump. So if you had a Quagsire instead, and then you could simply counter the HP Grass from Starmie, you are perfectly happy to do that trade.
As if your countermon won't get crit. Get real. We've seen that one before.
True. Okay, so is this D tier vibes or bottom of C?
No, I don't think it's that bad. I think I'm down to put
My
it in C.
heart tells me to put it in D tier, but I know it's not
Like,
that bad.
I think
Vibes-wise-
D is valid actually.
like a mid
This shit is
C.
not winning. It doesn't have a positive matchup into anything. It looks like a mid C because it's not offensive. Like you don't look at it and go like, ugh. But it's just so bad. It doesn't beat anything.
I want to
It's a
put it
D on
below
vibes, but
JBL.
realistically a C.
I want to
Yeah.
put it
Yeah, I
between
like-
the
I like
pockets
D.
underneath JBL.
Yeah, love it. I think it fits.
Okay,
We have 3 left.
I think that people have spoken.
3 left.
There were some dissenters. There were some that didn't want to go this low. You know, I'm mostly vibing this. So if people are upset, you can just blame me. We are now at our last 3, and like I said, if you add up all 3 of the remaining scores that Zinc gave, you get a 10 out of 10. So that's something.
good.
CG12 with Mence, Blissey, Dull, Cloyster, Sceptile. How do we feel?
I like this draft until 4th pick came around, and then we didn't draft a single good mon after that. That's pretty sad.
We don't like.
I
We
also
don't
don't
like
like
the
third. I think it's cool.
I think
I
the
don't like
Claydol
the
could
Claydol.
have been good. It just isn't though.
It's just kind of the same problem that you saw with the earlier Mence Bliss, where you just kind of are cursed to forever, like, just move at a glacial pace. I think that Sceptile and Houndoom are attempts to correct that, but they are not. It's not it.
Yeah. Yeah, Sceptile doesn't count because, like, despite being a fast Pokemon in the sense that it has a high speed stat, it is not a fast Pokemon in the sense that it is, like, immediately threatening. He's
Right.
kind of ass outside of, like,
Yeah.
Sub-Seed.
The stab sucks.
He's fast,
it's
but
just not.
he doesn't make your team fast.
The best Pokemon on this draft is Golem, and it's not even close.
Holy.
Okay, we're getting all the hot takes out.
Our mixed
That's
attacker
nice.
check is Feraligatr. I think we just don't load this into anything with more than 80 in both attacks.
At least
Yeah.
the
No,
Feraligatr
Reggie,
was
it's
picked
forward.
last this time instead of picked 4th.
Yeah.
my God, yeah.
Reggie, like, it's even worse than that. The mix check is Salamence trying to Oko it.
You.
Zinc
Like,
says.
Go
it's
next.
just not good. It's
The mixed check is you go Salamence on the sub, and then you go Blissey, and then the -1 Brick Break doesn't kill.
True.
Great.
Yeah.
Great. All right.
I think
But yeah,
this
this
is
shit's bad.
probably D tier.
I think
Yeah.
it's probably the worst one if we don't count Voltas.
Are we not counting
No.
voltages?
Yeah. This
yeah,
might
I'd
be
probably
just
put
like
it
this-
there.
I just didn't like
Okay.
think too hard about like which one's worse.
We'll
They're
do
both
a
really
spot
bad.
check once we're fully done and make sure we're happy. Let's get the last 2 out of the way. Among Us, Blaster. We got Raikou, We have no spikes. There's a Pupitar happening. This is the highest rated of the last 3. Zinc gave it a 5 out of 10, saying this is pretty standard, except that I have to point out that Armaldo is the only normal resist, basically. I feel like
This
I'm in a
is
parallel
the now
universe where
cosplay.
Tauros doesn't fucking destroy everything. Go ahead.
Yeah. It's a now cosplay where they forgot the spikes, and it's for that reason very bad. So
I like the Blaziken pick. I think it's based. I think without the Blaziken, this would have been overly toothless. But with the Blaziken,
Yeah.
it's fine actually. I would put this
Yeah.
in high B.
High B.
I agree with actually. I think there's a lot of really good offensive ideas here. I really like the Raikou. I really like the Gardevoir, and I really like the Blaziken. I think those 3 form a fantastic trio.
Okay.
Are
Yeah,
you
that's
allowed
facts.
to load this team at all if there's a Starmie? I don't think so.
Oh, yeah,
I mean,
Starmie
you can.
kinda goes
like,
in a little.
Raikou is the Starmie check, but that's okay.
That's.
I mean,
not
you can also
really
just use
okay.
like max spit if they Porygon. It does loop it. You
Yeah.
just have to like, I don't know. You just have to be soy and smelly and be like, "Ooh, look at my 0 special attack by Porygon."
Okay. We'll come back in spot check.
Yeah.
Last one. And there's a 1 out of 10 from Zinc for Volta. I've
Oh.
talked about this, about the move Thunderbolt. Oh boy, when I said Scar Me is fine, I usually mean because then you're able to pick up like a Jolt round 3 and a cheap grass in a while. Here we have Ampharos, who is slow and passive. It means you don't get to use an actually good Mon. Another problem is that this team has to operate on a fast pace to win, which means Skarm is probably sacrificing health early. Unfortunately, the only other normal resist on the team is Duskull. This team has 2 giant, unforgivable defensive holes. And unfortunately, in conclusion, Scraf should make it just 16 next time because this took a long time to write. Okay, got it.
Yeah, I think my thoughts can be summarized with: I think this team has a terrible Snorlax, this has a fantastic matchup into Snorlax and a terrible matchup into Metagross. Sorry, no, I messed this up.
Wait,
I think he
You
should have
meant to
brought this
say
team.
Pikachu,
I think he
right?
should have brought the stupid team, and why he did it is so.
That's
if you're
that's
listening,
true,
I hope
man.
you listen and become a better person and bring this Garmy draft next time.
Holy
When the person has a terrible meta Snorlax draft and
Yeah.
Despise and a Metagross. On the other side, when your other draft loses to Metagross on lead.
Were you an
Oh,
advisor? Like,
I
are you what? Like,
No, I'm just angry.
you seem like personally
Yeah.
hurt by this. Is what I'm just trying to understand. Like,
She's not an advisor. She just cares. Okay.
that's
No, the
sweet.
worst part is
Someone who
that
cares.
Something that didn't
No,
get
she's being-
mentioned is this
she's being a
draft is
conscious
also like really
spectator.
Quake Week.
Oh, it's
like,
so
it
Quake
loses
Week.
to
Oh my
normal,
God.
and it loses to EQ, and it loses to T-Bull. I don't know.
it at least
When
has
it
the
comes to
best
anything?
EQ immune and Skarmory. But like, why does
Yeah,
this
but
draft-
Skarmy has to stack. Zink was talking about this. Skarm has to like sack health early to get progress down, you know, and spikes and shit.
this
okay,
is
I
better
have a-
than one singular draft, and that is the other Volta.
I was
draft.
gonna ask, is Volta
like-
taking both of the
Yes.
the bottom 2 spots?
I think this.
I think.
I
If
don't
you factor
know.
his
Yeah.
luck into it, then yeah, yep, there.
I think this draft, if it literally just had Lantern instead of Ampharos and another flyer, then it would have been fine. But it doesn't.
Okay. We could like do a little bit more analysis and be like, Machamp on spikes and all that, but like I don't know, we just don't have to. This shit's bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
Let's get to
It's
the
me, like, playing
the
weaknesses.
spot check portion of this. C has about almost twice as much as anything else. We could look to move this Null into low B, or maybe move this Aonfa into high D. But there's not necessarily anything wrong with one tier happening to have a lot. If you guys think that the Null and Gang here is like the correct cutoff for what should be a B and what should be a C, like we can, but like just looking at this, how does this look to you guys? How does this feel? If you guys can actually see it.
I would probably, just to make the tiers look a bit cleaner, I would move the top 2 from B into the bottom of A, and move the top 2 from C into the bottom of B.
I think that's fair.
So move the Spreek and
I
JBL
think,
into
I think
A.
is too skinny. A is too skinny. We need to fatten A up.
I think
Yeah.
we put.
No, you
yeah, I
don't.
think it's
There's
like
just not
fair
that
to
many
say, like,
A's. They're just not. No.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really believe. I think this Spreek one can move. I don't know about the JVL. I kind of just said that it's like maybe 2 will make it look prettier.
I
Do we
think the
actually
JBL
think
one
this is an
is-
A tier draft from Spreek?
I think in relative to everything else, and the fact that it's Spreek specifically using it, I think
Yeah.
I'm willing to give that a lot of it.
Okay.
I think the JBL one gets
Be
a
honest.
boost. If we're being like honest, he's gonna have Seeker has built this team like a lot. I think that
Seeker
having
has built this
Seeker-
team with No, Seeker
Yes.
has built this team with a spiker. It has not built this
Well,
team.
yeah, that's fair. But I don't know. I think this team has legs. I think it's A tier. Like it's
I think
not
it has.
perfect, but I don't think that losing spikes makes it a B tier draft. I think it's still solid.
I think this tier is on a wheelchair, but the wheels are really well maintained.
That's fair,
Okay.
The wheels are well maintained.
but they're really shiny.
Is there anything else?
Like
that
the
we
grandpa
wanna
could probably do
nudge?
tricks on it.
Okay.
Tricks on it, you say?
Now,
This looks good.
gamers.
I'm
think
looking
it's
at
fair.
like the edge cases, and I don't think there's anything I'd move up and down.
Yeah, no, I like this version of the list. I think that the 3 S tier drafts are fair. I think those are pretty easily the best drafts on the tour. There's like some drafts I want to move up, but like I understand I'm outvoted there.
Okay. Yeah, and I imagine this will generate a lot more discussion once we post a screenshot of this to the server. I'm excited to do that. And yeah, I only underestimated the time it would take to do this by an entire hour. Nice. Let's go, Zets.
Hey, think about it. That's an extra hour of peak.
Big shouts to everybody who made this happen. Zinc for doing a ton of write-ups to give us some more content to share with you guys. Nephew, Forte, Martini, River, and Wraxius for joining me and sharing your varying degrees of ball knowledge. Very appreciated. Everybody who tuned in and watched this. I think we had like 60 viewers at some point. Apparently we still have 55.
I don't even know how I got here.
I told you that you should probably like leave, but you didn't have to, and you stuck around. And it was cool to have you, nephew. Thank you for hanging out. Any closing thoughts? Any like big, hot takes or like who's winning this shit? Who do you guys think is winning? End of the day.
I put my
I
money.
would say that Seeker and River are the 2 favorites by a significant margin.
I think they are.
It
I think
depends on River can break her playoff curse or not, pretty much.
yeah.
I put my money on now losing, and Zet's being kind of annoyed about that.
I think I think that the
Never.
now Seeker game is going to determine like
A lot.
pretty much everything. Yeah,
That's
like
gonna be
it
huge.
is so big on because one of them in losers in general is going to be stupid. It's going to suck.
Yeah.
I know that I am on a path to play the loser.
You're
in
gonna play
losers,
the loser
and
at some
I'm already
point.
I'm very sad about that. And yeah, that's probably going to be GG for me, but that's okay. It's rough, but I mean, I do think that whoever wins that becomes, I think, the favorite, to be honest with you. But I do think that River, obviously, like if she can break her, I guess, get out of her rut, then that would be fine. Obviously, like, you could look at the map and say, like, yeah, River on paper is fantastic, but I think it just comes down to if she can get lucky or not unlucky,
True.
So,
Nope.
Hey, this daycare center was
I
pretty
would
cool, though.
love a good couple of. I'd
Basic
like to get
bucks.
lucky. That'd be pretty fire.
That would be
Honestly,
sick.
I think
Some may say that you've already gotten lucky.
That's true.
I would say
Some would
that,
say that.
I swear. But yeah,
yeah,
Dude, that crash
I
out
will
was
say that
so sick.
I will say that I think that if Now wins the matchup, I think River is guaranteed winner finals. I would say that.
Interesting.
Oof.
Is it
guaranteed winning winners finals.
She's guaranteed into grand finals winner side.
Oh, so you're saying that the only person that can knock River out of winners is Seeker. So if
Is
Null
Seeker.
beats Seeker,
I-
River's getting to
Seeker.
Grand's winner
Ooh.
side. Interesting.
Yes, I believe
out
that
for those
Now's
white
drafts are
punches.
not good enough to knock River down to losers bracket.
Okay.
Ooh.
Right.
I am
on the other
so
hand, people are
stoked.
saying that I'm weak into Skarmory, and he's got 2 of those. So
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, but I think he's
I don't
like
know.
his drafts are so bad into your meta draft. Like holy.
Dude,
That's
this Sunday
My
is
meta
going to be a
draft has
movie.
Pokemon on it.
Null versus Seeker is going to be dope as hell. Thank you again, everybody,
Cinema.
so much for tuning in, showing up. We will also Mushy League draft is at some point this weekend. There's a lot to cover. I'm gonna try to cover as much as I can, but we're gonna call it for now. Shouts to you guys for doing this with me the past 2.5 hours. Fun times. Thanks for joining, and we'll catch you guys all next time.
I hope I end up here again accidentally.
Me too, Neff.
Maybe you're gonna end up in it as a player.
Ooh.